Once upon a time, there was a little console called the Nintendo 64, and developers had to do all kinds of strange things to make games work on that little console. Here to make even stranger things happen in Donkey Kong 64 no levels early, presenting Amber Loves Archie!
Alright. Hello everyone, thank you for that intro. How are we doing, Archie Nation? So I know people like Donkey Kong and all that, but I got some really good news if you like Donkey Kong, because we're about to have 64 of them, if you can believe that. Like, that's an unbelievable amount of
That's so many
Kongs.
donkeys!
So, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to get started. I think, I'll go ahead and count it in. I'm setting up a little bit of something first. 1 second. Okay, and I'll be ready in... let me set up my file just a little bit. Alright, that'll be 3, 2, 1. Let us proceed.
Good luck!
Alright, so off the bat, I need to go through training, the little training area at the intro, learn some starting moves and stuff. I am noticing there is no music right now, which is kind of bizarre, but I think it's fine. So anyway, I'm going to Cranky's hut first. I need to talk to him first. He rants at me. I think he's like my grandfather or something, so he's like really rude to his grandson or something. Might literally be my dad, I don't know. But he's kind of mean. We don't like Cranky. So, still no in-game music, which is bizarre. Okay, I'll continue a bit more. I'm a little bit concerned. There is a glitch that can happen, that a telltale sign that has occurred, actually, is that your game can just, like, music cuts out, and then your game will kind of crash shortly after, so I am very concerned about that maybe happening. But, I'm gonna look at my capture card a little bit, I think. I'll continue on for now. I might have to... Yeah, I might have to go to the title screen a little bit and do some stuff. I'll see. Alright, that's the first barrel done. Sorry, I'm just kind of distracted by this thing going on. So that was the barrel one. That gives me the ability to throw barrels and all that. You have to learn all these abilities. This is, like, not exactly an auto-scroller, but it's very basic for what is going on. And that's vines, so I can now climb vines. I'm actually very concerned. I'm getting, like, sound coming in and out sometimes, so I'm gonna go hop back to the main menu and see what's going on here. So, I'm gonna mash back to get there. Give me just 1 second to do something as well. Okay, should be good on that end. Alright, just a little technical difficulties, I apologize. Alright, so one thing I want to check to make sure that this glitch hasn't occurred, actually, is I am going to go to a boss cutscene. If this plays properly... Okay, yeah, it's playing properly. That's a good sign. Okay, it pulled me out. I'm gonna try out multiplayer real quick. That did not want to work either. Okay, let's just try this. Huh. Okay, so real talk, problem. So I was doing a little bit of trolling there. I was doing a glitch setup where I was going to unlock every move in the game. I won't lie, things went off the rails. That was me purely trolling, but troll's remorse, something actually happened that was bad. So I'm going to continue from the practice ROM. Whoops. So give me just 1 second. I was trying to set up a glitch called main menu moves, and what that would do is it would unlock every move instantly, basically. So normally in this game, as you progress, you unlock moves as you go to areas, and to do that, you have to talk to Cranky, you have to go to Funky's hut, and you have to learn moves one by one by one, which is an incredibly slow process. So, yeah, it didn't work out. That's fine, though. I'm gonna have to do a little bit behind the scenes. If you have anything on donations or host real quick, I'm just setting some stuff up real quick. That is my bad.
Absolutely. No, you're totally fine. It's sometimes the the magic circle breaks and the troller becomes the trollee.
Yeah, exactly.
But important to remind folks that we do have an open incentive for this, the second to last game of Archiethon 666. If we can raise another $225 by the end of the run, then we will be seeing a brilliant glitch showcase, and not just trolling. I swear there will be glitches that are not just to troll the audience. So please, make sure there are so many cool things that do not make it into a standard no levels early run, or just things that are so funny that you don't really need to do them because they're memey, they don't help you, but they are very enjoyable nonetheless. So make sure that when you donate with that exclamation point donate or with the pinned link in chat, that you choose the glitch showcase incentive to put your dono towards.
I'm trying to figure out how to set this best up. I did prepare for this a little bit. If I was going to fail something, it was definitely going to be this. And I could, through the practice ROM, give myself all the moves early on, but that is pretty likely to crash the game. So here, best way I can think to do this, I'm going to go over here and kind of explain a little bit about what's going on. So this is KLMZ. I think a lot of people watching this don't know what's going on Donkey Kong 64. They think this guy's a bad guy. I want to make it clear we like this guy. This guy is our friend. He has been wrongly imprisoned by K. Rool, and he is going to help us progress through this game a little bit. The way he'll do this is we'll talk to him, we'll make him happy, and he'll start popping around a little bit. And when he does this, this will cause, as it does naturally, a massive explosion that opens up Jungle Japes. And so, the way that this run is going to work, I think it's easiest to compare this to 70 Star in Super Mario World. Or not Super Mario World, Super Mario 64, I'm sorry. Where it's going to be relatively glitchless. There's going to be fairly minor glitch use, some pretty big stuff, but there are some ways to, like, clip through every single, like, basically every single boundary to entering a level early. And so no levels early means I cannot enter any levels before I am normally allowed to. I'm going to grab my first golden banana here. This is basically the power star of the game. I need 100 of these to get in the handout helm. So my goal for the category is to collect 100 golden bananas throughout the course of the run. And basically I'm going to collect the fastest ones. There's 202 in total, and I only need 100. So let's, prioritize the fastest ones. So, hopefully the last thing I need to do for practice ROM for the rest of the run, I apologize for this again, is I now am here. I have every move unlocked and all of that, so I have DK's gun, I can ground pound and all that, something I would not normally be able to do. And with that, I will enter the first real level of the run. Jungle Japes, it's, kind of the tutorial level, pretty straightforward and simple. First thing I want to do here is a clip out of bounds, known as Bush Push. So I'm going to walk over this section of the bush, I'm going to pivot 180, and if it goes right, I am now out of bounds. Okay, I've waited out, that's just fine. I just have to do that again real quick. Did I just get hit by Squawk? That happens? I just got attacked by Archie, that is insane.
Oh my gosh, that's awfully rude.
That's cruel. I mean, Archie has gone evil, I think, because of Archiethon 666, So anyway, I clipped through to go through a later section of the level. This is the tutorial level, so there's a ton of cutscenes between here and the start of the level, so I skip a lot of those, and I'm going to do a moon kick. I will make Donkey Kong fly. Wow, my angle was horrible. I cancel an aerial attack by landing on the floor, and doing that preserves the low gravity of the first part of the aerial combo, and makes me fly like that. There we go, that's much better. Alright, I need to lock in. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to do my first dance skip of the run. I'm going to walk over here, throw a couple of oranges, and miss just a little bit. If that goes well, the oranges will knock me back into the banana, and whenever I get a golden banana, you can see Donkey Kong is incredibly happy about it. He does a dance that lasts 5 seconds. It's usually longer than 5 seconds because on Nintendo 64 this game is quite laggy. So that is a cutscene that slows down whenever the game is lagging, so usually it is more than 5 seconds that animation takes, and if I can skip that, I want to. So I'm going to walk over here. Let me just jump down, actually, make this easier on myself. Don't get owned by the speeder. Go ahead and aim for the switch. Okay, and go ahead and cross that while I wait for this. Basically, I need to free Diddy Kong here, and I'll do that by shooting the coconut switches on the wall. Okay, next one. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit this target. Hitbox on that is weird, so I took my time aiming, but I hit a cutscene there, and then hitting the switch is going to override that cutscene, and it will save about 15 seconds or so. Because again, it's just another tutorial cutscene. Game's trying to teach you how to play it, trying to show you that Diddy Kong is in fact trapped, but we already have the memo on that. Played this game a couple of times, so I already know about all that. And I completely forgot, I'm supposed to do this earlier in the run, but that was a swim through vertical walls. Like, kind of what it seems like on the tin. If you press C up underwater and facing a vertical wall, you can swim directly through it. It's only at specific angles. It's about a 90-degree angle range, and it happens because of a underflow or overflow. I forget which of the two. They're basically the same thing. But it basically bricks the facing angle of the Kong and makes you just face through walls. It's very powerful, but again, you can only do it on certain angles of walls. Oop, give me the blueprint, please. Okay, and that was the first blueprint I got. Those are exchanged 1 for 1 for bananas. Basically, I will go to Snide's hut and turn that in for a golden banana. And you can turn those in clusters. And so, again, with golden bananas, you have to kind of go out your way to get them. You have to watch an animation associated with them and all that. But Snide's hut is a good way of skipping a lot of that. And a lot of them are just naturally out in the open, so there's 5 blueprints per level, 1 for each Kong, and there's a total of 40 blueprints. And I'm going to get, I don't know the exact number, but I want to say around 35 of them. That is going to be how I get most of my golden bananas in this run. And this is a decent time for any donations or shoutouts you have.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to make one request of folks in chat here. If I know anything about Donkey Kong, it's, of course, oh, banana. And if the spirit moves you out there in chat, in your donations, feel free to oh banana along as we are going through. There's going to be a lot of opportunities to oh banana.
Yes, there is going to be a lot of bananas in this run.
Any banana lovers
again,
in chat?
It's... Oh, yes. What's your favorite banana dessert, actually?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I am definitely a fan of a good bananas Foster, but I feel like it's easy to screw up.
Okay, that's
You
good.
have one?
I just a good old banana split for me.
You can't go wrong with the classics. If anyone out there wants to share your favorite banana dessert, feel free to let us know in donations.
And right there was actually kind of like major glitch number 2 of the run, I want to say. Where is this loading zone? There we go. So, very similar to the glitch where I swim through vertical walls underwater. I can do that on flat ground at a certain angle by something called a phase walk. And the way I do that is, it is incredibly hard, first of all. It is 2 frame perfect inputs and a 2 frame window input. What I need to do is I need to go to skip, I need to exit skip. Next frame, I need to go slight down on my control stick. Frame after that, I need to hold all the way up on my control stick. And then the very next frame after that, I need to go neutral. And I need to do that all, again, frame perfectly back to back. How did that miss, by the way? That is ridiculous. There we go. And I need to do that back to back. That was found in, I want to say, 2015 or so, and that completely revolutionized the run, as you can imagine. Because all of a sudden, walls exist even less than they did before. And so I'll be doing a little bit of phase walks throughout this run. They are something, again, very difficult and pretty time-consuming. It'll usually not be first try that you get them. So you need to consider, like, whenever you route in a phase walk, does this save time if this takes me, like, 5 attempts? Or does this save time if it takes me, like, 2 attempts or something? That's the sort of thing you need to think about. And this is first boss, again, I didn't comment on it yet because there's really nothing to talk about. Most of the bosses in this game are pretty unexciting auto-scrollers. One thing you can do to try to speed it up, which I messed up unfortunately. Oh, I got it. You can walk the barrel just a tiny bit closer to the boss to close the gap just a little bit. If you do it well enough, the boss will pop out into the barrel and get hit earlier than anticipated. But with that, that's the first boss done, and bosses drop keys, and that's how we'll progress to the next level. So after a horribly violent explosion, this guy is fine, and I actually do mean that. This guy is completely fine. He will skedaddle out of here and leave behind a key for us. Alright, and there we go. And worth mentioning as well, playing against Diddy Kong now, you tag different Kongs by going to tag barrels. You have to physically go to a barrel and tag them, you can't just do it on the fly. Much to the dismay of many casual players, that's probably the #1 complaint with this game casually. But for a speedrun, it's an interesting thing to factor. Because for the record as well, golden bananas are only collectible as the Kong they are designed for, with very few exceptions. So, if there's a banana for Diddy Kong, I have to collect it as Diddy Kong, and I have to route accordingly. So there's going to be a lot of like tagging a Kong, doing as much as I possibly can with them, and then just moving on to the next objective, basically. My camera is horrendous here. Okay, there we go, that's a better camera. I'm going to swim out of bounds just a little bit here, just a tiny little bit. And I'm going to inbounds into this section. Almost got blocked by the torch, that would be extremely bad. The beaver knocks me into the banana, and I'm going to phase walk through this wall. This one's a little finicky. This might take a while. Like, if this takes me like 20 tries sometimes, I'm like, yeah, that happens. There we go. And I'm going to go into a void zone. What that'll do is that'll void out my Kong and instantly put me back to the start of the level. And that's the way I'm going to get back to the start of the level a lot of times. The glitch setup I did, but I unfortunately failed at the very start of the run, is a part of the consequence of doing that glitch is it means I can no longer pause the game for the rest of the run. It also means the game never autosaves. So, first of all, a lot of soft lock potential there. There are ways to circumvent it. Nice orange throw. Are ways to circumvent that, though, but it means a lot of routing concessions need to be made, because when you pause a game, you can exit a level at any time you want. And that means you could, say, collect a banana that is kind of, like, relatively far away from everything else, and then immediately pause exit the level and be back at the start. You can't do that in no levels early. So a part of the routing we'll have to do is think of bananas that not only are fast, but are close to other golden bananas, and then at the very end of the route, how can I get back to the start of the level as fast as possible? And I'll turn in a key here, as I make my way to Aztec, another good time for anything on your
Absolutely. I wanted to ask one question, and that is if you've ever made a joke along the lines of that you're tracking your banana splits for this game.
Ooh, I have not personally.
All right.
I should
missed
get on
opportunity.
That, you're right. Don't. Yeah, nobody here heard that. Next stream, though, that's when I hit.
You can have that one. We also have some responses to that call for banana desserts. We have $5 from Cactus, who says banoffee pie for me. I don't think I've actually had a banoffee pie, but it sounds pretty fascinating.
Is that like a British thing or something?
Actually, that's a great question. I do not know the provenance of it. I just assumed it was not very common, but it very much could be a British thing. It does appear to be a British dessert, yes.
Ooh, okay, I'm so
still,
good.
very on board, and thank you for your $5 to Point of Pride. And for $5 helping us get closer to that glitch showcase.
Alright, now we're entering Aztec. First up, we are going to see the first B-Locker of the run. He has a number that he wears proudly on his chest, and that number is the number of golden bananas you need to enter the next level. So, he had a 5 on him, you need 5 golden bananas to get in. I have 6, so I'm all good. No levels early means I cannot bypass that guy. Doing that is trivially easy. To plug a little bit, I will show you how to do that in the glitch showcase coming up. That'll be a part of the show.
But only if we get enough donations to hit that milestone, that incentive.
Yeah, that is very true. But it does mean quite a lot because... Hello? Okay, there we go. Some of those prices for bananas are, like, steep. Like, 5 isn't that bad, but towards the end of the run, the last level in the game that is normal will require 80 golden bananas to enter, which is a lot of
I
bananas.
can't believe inflation is even affecting
And of
banana
course,
prices.
oh yeah. Okay, another phase walk here. This seems kind of inconsequential, but if I go the normal way here, a llama will be very happy to see me and will cause a cutscene, so I'm going to avoid that. And the llama is happy to see me because he wants to make a jailbreak. He's just, like, stage right over there. You see that cage? That's where the llama is. He's going to be stuck there, I'm afraid. I know he... Don't worry about him. A part of the upside of getting all the moves early, though, is that I have a rocket barrel right here. This is normally something you would have a fair bit later, but this smooths over routing quite a bit, because on my first visit to Aztec, I can immediately go up here for the blueprint. Very nice. Go down here, get some crystal coconuts, and another phase walk to get into Tiny's temple. This one's kind of tricky because it's a little bit laggy. And lag does, unfortunately, impact the inputs for phase walking, which is very frustrating. There we go. Now that I phase walked, I'll go into the loading zone. And there's Tiny Kong. Like I said, this is Tiny Temple. You'll be unsurprised to learn that Tiny Kong is found here. Need to go free here. I will do that, first of all, by, once again, phase walking right here. There we go. Then I will roughly go here. A skill you really develop as you play Donkey Kong is figuring out visual cues for where you need to go when out of bounds, because you are a lot of the time just working with a blade. Oops. Another failed dance skip there. If I do that right, I can throw an orange, it'll bounce me into the golden banana and skip that little dance. A little bit unfortunate. And now we are going to spell Kong, which of course starts with the letter O. If I can get up there, please. This thing has the worst collision on Earth, I will tell you. There we go. Okay, so O is unfortunately not the first letter of Kong, but we do need to press it first to kind of trick the game into allowing me to press the switches out of order. Obviously the game intends me to spell Kong here. Doesn't take a genius to figure that out. But if I try to spell it in the correct order immediately, it won't let me. What I'm normally supposed to do here is I'm supposed to ram into a switch that'll raise a bunch of platforms to give me access to all these buttons. But that cutscene, inexplicably, is like the laggiest thing ever. Like, genuinely adds like 30 seconds of lag to playing this room. That is shocking. Okay. Try again. Alright, there we go. That is not abnormal for me to lose a bunch of time on those switches, but that is just fine. So we'll free Tiny Kong here. We can access her through a tag barrel at any time now. And we'll get out of here by doing swim through vertical walls. Kind of want to count 1, 2, 3, 4 swims. And I'm back. And real quick, after this, I will go tag Tiny and come back here as Tiny. There's one golden banana in here I want, and this is the first trick in the run that is a little sketchy. Second trick, the one that I failed at the start, you know, forgot about that. Hee. But, this coming up, I'm going to do something called a spawn snag. I'm going to walk in a little bit. That was the first try phase walk, by the way. Very nice. Walk in just a tiny little bit. I might have already messed up the camera positioning for this, but I'm going to assume I didn't, because this trick is very cool. So this wall is a little bit weak. It can be a little bit picky, though, and it is being very picky instead of a little bit picky. Come on. This is another either first try or 50th try thing, unfortunately. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to line like this. I'm going to try and jump backwards. Okay, and okay, camera positioning was a bit off. So if I did this just right, I could skip having to kill these gators right here, which I am somehow avoiding masterfully. So what goes on here is a mini-game sort of thing, where again, I have to kill these gators, and when I do this, and I kill this fourth gator here, golden banana will spawn in, and what that golden banana does is it like flies into the area, and it's tangible and collectible. But that golden banana actually has a home there, basically. Like, while it's deloaded, it rests there at the place that it flies out from. And if you manage to get into the room while it's deloaded, you have 1 frame to be able to grab a deloaded golden banana. And doing that allows you to skip that little crocodile minigame because you collect the golden banana instantly. It's a very tough trick. I'm not surprised I missed it, but yeah, not a huge deal. I'm gonna phase walk over here and do some other stuff. Anything on your end?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to shout out this $50 donation from WonderJ, who says, as much as I don't like bananas, firstly, oh my god, I can't ignore a good,
Wow.
oh, banana. Banana bread is good, though. Thank you very much, WonderJ, for your donation. That is also going towards the Glitch Showcase, which means, math, we only need $170 more, chat. Again, exclamation point, donate in the chat to get a link and help us get the Glitch Showcase for DK64.
Yes, I would really like to show off some glitches, and I would also like my camera to behave. There we go, that was, wow. Your camera can really fight you in this game. Like, it is, in fact, a, like, late 90s 3D platformer, so you do expect a little bit of that. But occasionally the camera will just flip on you, and under no circumstances will it ever flip back. So that was a decent example of that. And face flip right here, you clip through the face. That is one of many things in this game that is as easy as it looks. Kinda need to figure out where I was out of bounds there. But yeah, there's a lot of out of bounds in this game that you've probably, like, several of you probably have never played this game before, and you would see something like that. That is truly as easy as it looks. You just twirl into that face and you go out of bounds. And another example of a very funny out of bounds coming up. Come over here, drop a couple oranges on the way. I'm going to take damage from the quicksand, kind of sink into it. I'm going to charge into this floor. And if all goes well, I go right through it. Very silly, very easy to do. It's a little finicky, but yeah, it's truly just do it. Oh my gosh, my camera is... wow. Oh, I am in. Okay, there we go. Alright, so this is the 5-door temple of Aztec. The way that this area works is there's a door for each Kong that has 1 golden banana inside. We're only going to do it with 2 Kongs. The other rooms are just a little bit slow. That guy, get down, Mr. President, that button so hard, that's crazy. And another dance skip coming up here. Wow, I am... I'm 0 for 3. I promise you can skip this animation. You'll see it very soon. But once you get the golden banana, the owner of the temple gets very upset with you and pulls out a gun and tells you to get out of there. It has terrified many, many a child, but I'm grown. I can handle it. And behind this temple is another boss door. I'm going to use this as an excuse to tag Kongs as well. I'm going to go Donkey Kong. And you wouldn't normally phase walk here. I'll show off a fun thing you can do instead to get into this boss. You can do a moon kick, and this section of the wall is just weak. You can just fly right through it. So, that's been obsoleted again by phase walking, but that's how they used to skip these back in the day. You could also do something called a ledge flip, which is very inconsistent and finicky. But another boss battle coming up, kind of an auto-scroller. My goal here is to pick up the barrels as soon as possible, kind of juke out the fireballs. Luckily it's a pretty short one, though.
And a reminder, if you do want to tell us more about your favorite banana foods, or really, I'll accept anything about bananas, make sure to put in your donations.
Alright, just one more phase of this guy, luckily. All the bosses in this game are kind of auto-scrollers. The main optimization is actually lag reduction. Nintendo 64 is that naturally... Like, my room is getting very hot right now. The game is pushing the absolute limits of what the Nintendo 64 can do, so the game will lag constantly. And there is a virtual console release of this game for the Wii U. First of all, it is very, very laggy in terms of input delay. It's completely lagless, for the record. It's no loading times, no lag whatsoever, and it's got a ton of input delay. Like, genuinely, I think 0.4 is an understatement of how much input lag it has. I have no idea how people play with it. But aside from that, the devs were pretty smart about the game lagging, and what they'll do is whenever the game is lagging, they will actually speed up the movement speed of the Kong to compensate. So there's a lot of interesting movement intricacies that come in there where I want to like consciously face the camera a certain direction to lag the game, and that'll give me more speed. Hello? Dude, these switches are rogue today. Oh, crocodile jump scare. Okay, and then go over here. This time for sure, daily affirmations. I will get this dance skip. Yeah,
Oh,
there it
very
is.
nice.
Finally. It's something. It's kind of the difference maker between like a mid-high level runner and the highest level runners is how fast they can set up those dance skips, where they're doing them, and just trust me when I say it is so much harder than it looks.
Call that an ow banana.
And speaking of bananas, actually, we've seen a lot of bananas already, but we can also use bananas to go out of bounds. So we're going to go up here on this hut, we're going to nudge ourselves into this corner, and the hitbox of this banana peel is going to push us straight out of bounds and put us into this bonus barrel.
Is there anything bananas cannot do?
I'm convinced no. Like, I think we should look into that for, like, you know, renewable energy.
I think we should look to bananas for renewable donations to Point of Pride by hitting ! Donate in the chat. I want to hear from some bananas. I want to hear what wonders bananas have to share with us.
Alright, and that was the first of very few bonus barrels I'm going to be doing. Bonus barrels are kind of like the famous thing in this game, but they're a little bit slow, unfortunately, for no levels early, where we're just kind of picky about what golden bananas we're getting. First of all, there's the announcer who says, you know, like, welcome to bonus stage and stuff. Squawk, or Archie, sorry, not Squawk. Archie has to fly down and kind of explain what's going on. And they're just kind of slow. You have to get in and out of them. But yeah, that's just a quick minigame that we'll do. And from here, we will enter Lanky's temple. I believe this is called Llama Temple, because the llama on the front. We're going to do an out of bounds back here. This is another trivial one right here. It's just that easy. You just roll right there. And then we'll backflip. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of let this speak for itself for the first little bit of it, but this is, I'd say, like, major glitch number 3 of the run coming up. So, once I gain control, I'm going to go over here and tag these warps real quick. I use these to kind of work around. Okay, I'm going to enter the water, or the lava, rather. This is very painful for DK, but we'll get over it. Okay, I am going to go out of bounds. I'm going to pull out my gun. I'm going to jump backwards into the water. Turning around is fine. Okay. Where am I currently? Okay, I'm in the right spot. Oh, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to do that again. And so what this does right here is, you can see I have a gun in my hand while I'm swimming around, which is not something that's normally supposed to happen. And whenever I do that, if I swim over here, if I dive down, and I angle the Kong up and enter first person, and then leave first person, Donkey Kong develops some horrendous back problems. And the good news of this is that this completely just bricks the collision of the game. So right here you'll see I'm just going to long jump into this wall, and I can just do that. I can just get away with long jumping into that wall. I actually want to long jump in a way to where I rub against this button. There we go. That'll set my floor height a bit higher. And this gives me a glitch called skew. As you can see, my Kong is askew, and it just lets me no clip, basically. And I lose this if I accidentally do a number of things. If I jump without doing certain actions beforehand, I will lose skew on the spot, which is very bad. You can get stuck and soft-locked very easily if you lose skew. But I'm going to carry skew for a very long time in this section and kind of collect some fast golden bananas here. It turns out when you can just ignore walls, you save a lot of time. Okay, doing this mini game. I definitely don't have it pulled up on my desktop to remind me where to shoot right now. Okay, and then I get this matching game golden banana. And then from here, I'm going to aim towards this row of little ammo and crystal coconuts, and use this as a bit of a cue to go over here. I'll walk into the void a little bit, and I should inbounds in just a second. In just a second. In just a second. Hello. There we go. Alright, and from here we'll get Lakey's blueprint. Normally to get over here you need to go transform as Tiny Tiny, and that takes a long while. And so I activated those warps earlier, so I'll use that to warp. Yes, you persist skew through warping, you persist it through tag barrels, you persist it through basically everything except for loading zones. So there we go. Go ahead and tag Tiny. Tiny will still be askew, and I can do twirls and stuff. It looks very silly. Go ahead and slide kick through here. And that pot normally is too small to get through by conventional means. Would have to transform to get through there, so saves having to transform twice. Okay, collect this golden banana, and from here I want to void out of the level, and skew is very convenient. It lets me go through this wall, and hit a void trigger instantly. And I'm back to the start of the level, and that is Aztec done. Alright, collect some ammo on my way out. It's pretty hard to... Oh, nice backflip. It's pretty hard to run out of ammo. It's very easy to run out of oranges, especially when you're playing well and doing a bunch of dance skips. Because if you accidentally miss a dance skip, that is a 100% wasted orange. But ammo... it's something you need to keep tabs on, but not really think about, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do a trick over here. I'm going to come over to Banana Fairy Isle. I'm going to aim for this door, and I'm going to swim through shores. I'm going to mash B and just swim through this shore. This trick is, like, ancient. Probably older than many people watching this stream. Published in, like, Nintendo Power back in the day to get camera as the first thing you do in the game. So we're going to fly out of bounds, get that golden banana, skip the dance because we are underneath it and are very high above a floor, so the game doesn't want to give us a dance cutscene. But we're going to get the camera. You would be kind of surprised that we get this in a run like this. You can use it to take pictures of banana fairies, but you wouldn't think that's something we really care about. It's a trivially easy to get requirement to get around. But in this run, we care most that it also comes with the shockwave ability, which lets me instantly kill Crisplat enemies and get blueprints faster. It also allows me to do a faster setup for skews. It lets me do a different method of pulling out my gun underwater, which is very appreciated, a nice little time save. And the biggest factor is it lets you do a trick at the end of the run called Takeoff Skip, which is unfortunately a trick I'm not going to be showing in this run. It is incredibly difficult. It is literally 15 minutes before the run is over, and it saves about a minute. It is so stressful and difficult. But that saves about a minute, and that's mainly why you grab the camera. But, you know, having a camera is very nice anyway. I'm turning in this key, accessing 2 more levels from here. Great time for donations or plugs.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that's going through my head this entire time, by the way, is just how much of this game I thought was a fever dream from when I was a child, and in fact, that's just what happens in the game. Like a camera to photograph banana fairies.
Oh yeah, very normal. And it's not... I like how they probably thought, like, oh, you know, capture pictures of fairies. And then somebody at, like, a table, like an exec in Nintendo or something, was like, no, like, banana fairies. And they're like, you're a genius.
Of course the banana, you're onto something. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. For those just joining us, thank you so much for coming in. We are Well, we're watching it too. I was going to say, you are watching Archiethon, a speedrunning marathon hosted by Celeste runners playing other speed games and unique Celeste categories. And this year, we are raising money for Point of Pride, who provide powerful affirmation for trans folks and serve the members of our community who face the biggest challenges in accessing the care that they need. We have this and only one more run afterwards to keep raising money for Point of Pride. So make sure to get your donations in tonight. There is a link that is pinned at the top of Twitch chat, or you can put an exclamation point donate into chat to get that link as well. Whatever your method, your donations are going towards helping trans people in need. We also have an open incentive for a glitch showcase of this very game. We've already seen all kinds of absolutely wild stuff, but there is even more wild stuff that cannot fit in even a 2-hour and 40-minute estimate run. So make sure when you put your donations in, you also assign them to the glitch showcase. We need about $170 to get there by the end of the run. Help us out.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to lock in this a tiny little bit. There's a sound cue I desperately need to hear here. I would prefer if Lanky will load in. There we go. I am over here. Okay. Alright, so I'm looking for that grate just above the screen, and I want to walk into it. There you go. That was the sound cue I was looking for. It's probably pretty hard for you to hear, but it's like a little ticking sound. And what I did there is I walked to that grate from underneath it, and the game basically thinks if I've done that I have gotten behind the grate and have opened it the normal way. And that won't immediately become apparent why I did that, but I'll point it out in just a little bit why I did that. But, it's very silly, but I desperately need to hear that gate open, because if I don't, things can get very bad later on. Okay, and what this did as well, I didn't even really explain that, the gimmick of Factory is there is going to be a power shed that has a lever in it, and when you pull that lever, the level basically comes alive. Right now, not much is going on in this room, but when I flip a lever, the power will turn on, and all matters of, like, moving blocks and platforms will just appear. So my goal is to activate that transformation of the level, and I'm going to get a few golden bananas on the way of doing that. Where am I going? I'm gonna go up here, I'm gonna pound the switch, and that'll free Chunky Kong. This will be the last Kong I free in the run. We got the whole family here, finally.
I did have a moment trying to do the math of, like, the last one you'll free, oh my gosh, are you gonna leave one trapped the whole run? I was like, no, that's all of the Fletcher.
That would be extremely funny if so. But we're coming up to the next boss here, Mad Jack. This is another thing that they put in the game to terrify children. But the exception is, like, you know, the 5-door temple I wasn't afraid of. This boss I am beyond terrified of. This is by far the hardest boss in the game. It chases you, pretty self-explanatory. It kind of follows the grid and chases you. And whenever you are too close to it, it'll do what's called a slow jump. And you want to minimize those as much as possible, because, again, it's in the name, they're slow. And then RNG happens here, where these switches spawn. And I want to pound a switch that is the same color of Mad Jack. So it's just, there's so much going on in this boss, where I want to keep a distance to where I am not getting those slow jumps, and I'll accomplish that by jumping diagonally, because this thing cannot jump diagonally. But also, I'm going to do it just a little bit, but if I could, I would prefer not to look at this boss head-on at all, because that causes a lot of lag.
And not because it's just terrifying to behold.
Yes, definitely because of the lag, not, oh my god, it's so scary. Okay, and so it's a set number of jumps that it does, luckily. If that was random, that would just be truly horrible, so I'm keeping like a mental count. The mental stack for this boss is just extremely high. There is also a little bit of RNG mimic you can do for where this button spawns. but it's still, if it wants to spawn across the arena from you, like GG's. For example, this white switch is in a really bad spot. It's over here. I might get sniped here. Oh, crazy shot from Mad Jack. You have to give it up to him for that one. That's fine, not a huge time loss. I cannot die in this boss fight, so we will get through this eventually. But my current PB for this category loses 2 minutes here, and I am barely even upset about it, because it's like, yeah, that happens sometimes. Yeah, we should have had him on the Counter-Strike showcase, I guess. Okay, and now that we're in the fourth phase of this boss, kind of a tongue twister, it actually gets substantially easier because it no longer does that fireball attack. But one downside is it now can backtrack on itself. Before, it could not backtrack, so I kind of have to wait around and make sure, like here, it's going to jump back and squash me. That's totally fine, but is slow because it's going to do a bunch of slow jumps here. Not ideal, but fine. Oh, that is insanely good RNG.
Nice.
That is not supposed to happen by the logic of the game, but it can. So now it'll become invisible. Doesn't really matter because you can still see the sparkles of the boss. And if I get good enough RNG here, I'll actually get a pretty decent time save. A time save I have never ever gotten in a run, mind you. We'll see if I get it. I'm going to kind of concentrate, because it would be very funny to get. I'm not getting that. Okay, so when I land here, he's going to charge up a laser and shoot it. If you get a switch immediately, you can never see that cutscene. You have to get a fast switch twice to never see that cutscene. Again, I've never seen that in my life. I've only gotten 1 out of the 2 switches fast enough to be able to skip that. It really does not matter at all. Not in a billion years does it matter, but boy is it funny. But thankfully, Mad Jack is done. Pretty stressful part of the run, honestly. Factory is such a hard level, and Mad Jack is a reason why.
Would you care to celebrate with a donation?
Of course.
We have $25 here from Bree12am. Hello, Bree. My favorite banana food has gotta be the banana cup for Mario Kart Wii. Shoutouts Delfino Square. Thank you, Bree. That also went toward the Glitch Showcase, which means we need a scant $145 by the end of the run to see all of those wacky glitches. So please keep those donations coming. There is a link pinned at the top of Twitch chat.
Thank you, Bree. And by the way, this is the setup and payoff, you know. I opened that grate earlier, and that lets me go there immediately. If I did not open that grate, I would have to go tiny, and it's a really long process. It's like, I want to say like 25 seconds or so. And there's another phase walk here. This one will probably take a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to slide over here. This is kind of an interesting banana you would not consider unless you can phase walk. And phase walking is a very difficult trick that I'm still kind of mastering. And so if you cannot phase walk consistently, golden bananas like this are just things you cannot consider in your route. And what I think is kind of cool about this category is you can really mix and match the bananas you get. Because I want to say there's probably like 115 or so golden bananas, which you would consider. And by the way, this wheel is called the bad hit detection wheel, see if you can figure out why. Yeah, there's a bunch of different options for routing you can do, and if there's a trick or a golden banana that you just really hate, there's probably an alternative that is not that much slower.
Also, I cannot figure out why this is called the bad hit detection wheel. If someone could help me understand that in a donation, that would be great.
Yeah, I don't know why it has that reputation. That was fun, you know? But yeah, it is a very fast golden banana. Normally, again, you have to get here with tiny, and that whole process is just too slow to consider. Okay, another phase walk to get out. You have to do 3 phase walks to get that golden banana, basically, which makes it really tough if you can't get phase walks very consistently. Again, there's a lot of things in this run, actually, that it's like, I'm, like, almost good enough at phase walks, but not quite. So, like, if I play this game a bit more in, like, 6 months, I can probably consider some other additions. Okay, so I'm getting that blueprint. That is a nice long jump. I'm going to go get another blueprint in this section. And there's another golden banana coming up here, actually, that a lot of top-level runs will end up getting. The trick to get this one is absolutely ridiculous and insane. It requires you to do a lot of out-of-bounds movement. It's another spawn snag, so you need to be careful with your camera and making sure you're not loading the banana too early. It's just a nightmare. I really wanted to show it off for Archiethon, but it's hard. So I'll get to this blueprint. Go over here and tag Donkey Kong, and from here, I mentioned earlier there's a power shed I want to turn on. That is a task you could only do with Donkey Kong, so I will work on that task right now. Over here, have to shoot a coconut switch. It's not just a coconut switch that keeps you from opening the shed, because again, we've kind of established that if you want to go through a wall in this game, you probably can. But the issue with why you need Donkey Kong here is he is the only one who can pull this lever right here. So a little bit of a cutscene here. Anything for me, Fletch? Or us, I suppose?
Yeah, absolutely. Pardon me as I am accidentally hitting the print screen button sometimes, which it turns out does not unmute my mic.
Ooh.
As if folks need any more reasons to donate for Donkey Kong and for Point of Pride, there are so many awesome programs that Point of Pride is providing for the queer community. Programs like their free gender-affirming clothing. That helps get free chest binders and shapewear to trans folks who cannot otherwise safely obtain them or afford them. To date, Point of Pride has donated over 29,500 of these to trans folks in need. For more information, please visit pointofpride.org. And if you want to help out, you can always drop an exclamation point donate in chat for one convenient link through which you can donate to Point of Pride and help us towards that Donkey Kong 64 glitch exhibition.
Alright, so this is one of the fastest golden bananas in the game. I'm going to do something called a skid jump to be able to double jump in the air. Whoops. I'm going to climb into this corner, and I get a golden banana that is in that box. Skips the dance animation. Again, it's just so unbelievably fast. And let me just say, 101%ing this game, you have to get some of the not-so-fast golden bananas and get all of the colored bananas and etc., etc. And that category is about 5 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
If you're extremely good. Yeah.
All right, how much do we need to donate to change the category to 101%?
I could do it for free if you would allow me. You know,
No, we gotta get some donations.
It would be a privilege.
We gotta make a
yeah,
word
it would be a
for it.
privilege. Right.
Out of curiosity,
That is
how
fair
long
enough.
is the any percent by contrast when you can just skip right through all of those level barriers?
Like 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
It is one of those games.
Classic.
So yeah, that's actually a pretty good point. This category was kind of created to be a middle ground sort of category. I actually don't attack Chunky quite yet. But yeah, you know, when any percent is 20 minutes long and 100% is 5 hours long, that's kind of a two different ends of the spectrum here. So they decided to create a category back in the day that lets you show off a pretty solid chunk of the game. Again, it's a lot like 70 Star.
Yeah, I really love that about speedrun. That it really is this somewhat arbitrary sport. Arbitrary in the best way possible. We can do what we want to have a good time.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of the glitch showcase and all that, there are a few things I will show off that kind of go into some of the routing of 101%, because I think that route is just fascinating. I think that route is awesome. So if you want to hear some more about that in the 5 hour and 15 minute run that is, I can show just a little tiny bit of that off during the glitch showcase.
That would be awesome. We still need $145 to make that showcase happen. And we are already an hour into this run, so there's not a ton left. Folks, help us get there. And at the same time, you can be helping us towards another auspicious goal, raising $6,666 on this Archiethon 666.
Alright, this is the worst flip in the game. Every time I get here in a speedrun, it sours my mood. This is just the worst. I'm gonna give this like 10 more seconds probably. I promise you though, you can see Donkey Kong's kind of wiggling. It's a little bit suspicious. But yeah, it just isn't giving. I'm going to do this, quote-unquote, the intended way. Normally what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to grab a barrel that gives you invincibility, but going through all that is a really slow animation, and makes the laggy room even more laggy if you can believe it. And I'll just walk straight to this one banana. And this room just continues to be fun, because after this is another phase walk. This is one of the worst phase walks in the game, and of course, I get it first try. That is
nice.
that phase walk is horrible because it is so laggy. It is just, oh my god, it is horrible. But yeah, that is factory done. That is one of the hardest sports in the run, so I'm very glad to be done with that, and I should be Donkey Kong. There we go. But yeah, that phase walk at the end, combined with that clip out of bounds I was complaining about, there are many, many times where I'm like, I'm on gold pace in factory by like 30 seconds, and then by the end I'm like, cool, I am a minute behind my PB. It's just, so it goes, you know? But we're cleaning up some stuff in the lobby. A lot of lobby golden bananas are just really fast. They're very natural to get. We're in these rooms anyway because we need to go to the levels that contain bananas in the first place. So we'll go over here, tag Chunky, go ahead and punch this box and get a blueprint for Tiny.
Is it safe to assume that any percent does not need all the Kongs?
Oh yeah, no, you do one Kong. Just Donkey Kong. The final fight does expect you to have all the Kongs and all their moves, and historically, a large part of any percent and why it used to be a 50-minute category, is you used to have to unlock all those moves. But no longer. You can just unlock all the moves with main menu moves, which is a glitch this category uses at the start to get all the moves. And yeah, it saves a lot of time. You just go straight to Hideout Home as Donkey Kong, and then you go straight to K. Rool, and you beat up K. Rool.
Incredible.
And I'm going back into Jungle Japes. Jungle Japes is a tutorial level, so as you can imagine, there's a lot of easy golden bananas here, and a lot of fast golden bananas. This is the only level in the run I'm going to revisit after the initial visit, but it's also my favorite segment in the run. I think this game rightfully has a reputation of one of the most broken games of all time. Oops. But it also has some, like, really good movement. I think there's some really fun sections in the game that are, like, a good mix between, like, an Ocarina of Time, where you're doing glitches constantly back to back to back, and a Super Mario 64. And this level is, like, the perfect example of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to set up Skew here. I'm going to put away my gun. I'm going to aim for a grate to raise my floor height. As Tiny just vanishes into the void. There we go. Oops. And I want to clip back in bounds by backflipping. It's a little temperamental. There we go. And now I have Skew, and I can go through walls again. And I'm going to keep Skew for a very long time here. Probably, I don't know the exact amount, I want to say like the next 2 or 3 minutes. So I am very locked in right now and making sure I do not, if I accidentally press A at any time without doing a certain state beforehand, then I will lose Skew, which is very bad. So I'll come over here. And again, you've seen me shockwave a couple times, but it's this ability right here. It cleans up the spots really fast, because normally to kill them you either have to shoot them with your gun, or do a 1-2 combo on them. But you can just walk up to them instantly with a shockwave and be done with them. You can, it's RNG dependent, you can dance skip there if you get hit by an orange from the zinger that they drop. It's rare, I've never gotten it in a run, but it's a nice thing to try for. Go ahead and go over here, persist Skew through a tag barrel, and I'll come over here and aim for this section of the wall, long jump right through. And now there will be some sparkles that kind of appear that I want to use as a visual cue, and there we go, that's another banana. And as you can see, I'm about to chain a bunch of really fast golden bananas together. Normally, re-entering levels just isn't really worth it, But for Japes in particular, it is. Oh, and another reason why we revisit Japes is the first time we were here, we only had Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. But now, you know, we have Lanky, Tiny, Chunky, so that opens a bunch of new options for me. There we go. Alright, last golden banana I'm going to get through Skew. I'm going to jump down here, get one more cage golden banana. Normally to get these, you have to do a really long sequence where you get Rambi, the rhino, and then individually pound switches, and that just takes years off your life. It takes just genuinely forever. So we'll do Skew, and we'll end it off by going into this loading zone for Lanky. I think it's, yeah, very cool section, just grabbing a bunch of golden bananas back to back, and ending it off by going into a normally inaccessible section. And that out of bounds is truly just one jump into that wall, by the way.
There's so much about Skew that I find hilarious, but I think what really tops it for me is when you are Lanky doing these strange sideways spins or punching straight up into the air.
Yes, Lanky already, they were absolutely firing on all cylinders when they made some of his animations, and Skew just makes it even better. Decent time for plugs or donations, pretty straightforward section of the...
Yeah, absolutely. We only have about, what, it looks like an hour and 40 minutes to make sure we get that glitch showcase for DK64 here. So I wanted to propose that we get a donation train going. It's almost 1 hour into the run, so let's say at 1 hour and 5 minutes, let's do a $5 donation train. This might be a little bit weird, but I want to know, if you had a gun that fired fruit or nuts or vegetables or something, what would yours fire? So think on that. Queue up your donation by going to the pinned link in chat or by putting an exclamation point donate in chat. Get those $5 ready, and then when we hit 1 hour, 5 minutes, send them off, and I'm going to learn so many weird things about fruit. All right? All right. Good talk. And make sure that when you're doing that, you are applying them towards the glitch showcase to make progress. We still need $145, but I'm pretty confident we can get there. We have 60+ people in chat. If we just had $2 from everyone in chat, we'd basically be there. That's not how math works, but it's more or less correct.
Sounds good to me.
You know what they say, close only counts in horseshoes and exploding coconuts.
Of course. Alright, I'm gonna bail on that phase walk. Sometimes with phase walks, it is a very particular ranges of angles that it works on. So occasionally when you chain fail it, it can kind of make you a little bit uneasy of like, okay, am I just doing the inputs wrong, or is my angle bad here? And that was a perfect example of it, and instead of just standing there and figuring it out, let's just go through there normally. And do a swim through vertical walls, get to this section as Chunky. This section as Chunky is honestly a large reason why we revisit this level in the first place. Because this room, pretty short, and it has a blueprint and a golden banana. So it's like 2 for the price of one, back to back to back. Very nice. I'm gonna shoot these switches. If you shoot the switches at the same time, it overlaps the cutscenes of these vines coming down. It is possible to cross this gap without doing those switches, but it's very finicky, and dying here is quite bad, so I'm going to avoid doing that. What can happen here, if I get very unlucky, is this Kersplat can be winding up a shockwave and knock me straight into the pit. Definitely not something that has happened to me multiple times. There we go. In and out of that room very fast, and we basically got 2 golden bananas for that in probably around a minute, which is a very good rate. And then, on top of that, this boulder right here has a golden banana, and we'll throw it over here towards this beaver. The beaver will also get off his lawn, and that's a dance skip.
Excellent.
Alright, and with that, we are done with Japes. We'll leave this level as Chunky. Another nice part of this route that works out is that there's a golden banana in the lobby that requires you to do Chunky and Lanky, so by consciously exiting the level as Chunky, we can go straight over here, pick this up, and be halfway done.
don't forget, folks, in 2 minutes at 1:05 in the in the clock, we're going for a $5 donation train of what your strange fruit or vegetable or nut gun would fire.
And if you're looking for inspiration as well, you know, Donkey Kong has his famous coconut gun, Diddy Kong has the peanut gun, Lanky fires out grapes, Chunky fires out pineapples, and then, of course, you know, everyone's favorite fruit, Tiny Kong shoots out feathers. I don't really know why, but feathers.
What would your gun fire?
Oh, I am a really big fan of apples, so kind of a boring answer, but I will go for apple.
Honestly, pretty effective too. If you think about the grand scheme of what these folks are firing, like, okay, DK's coconut gun could incapacitate a rhino from 10 paces, but like the peanuts that Diddy's firing doesn't do anything. An apple, I think, would be like a good middle ground. Of you could really stop something with that, right?
For sure, yeah. And also, like, Red Delicious apples, I mean, you're not
Yeah, what
eating
else are you going to do with a Red Delicious apple? Obviously,
Yeah,
you're going to
like-
fire it out of a gun.
That dance skip I actually bailed on because if you fail it, the oranges will ricochet off the wall and end up in the water. And that's unfortunate because you only have 4 oranges out at a time. So, like, I just kind of hit a sprite limit, basically, and couldn't do the dance skip from there. If I were to do it, I'd have to wait too long. It just isn't worth it at that point. Anyway, we're entering Galleon. Needed 30 golden bananas to get in here, so entering Japes did help us jumpstart this. Gloomy Galleon, unfortunately, is the bad water level of the game. Pretty easy call for worst level in the game, but I do think it is extremely cool in the speedrun. But yeah, a lot of 3D platformers, you know, there was a lot of growing pains in the late 90s with how to make a good 3D platformer, and I don't think a single one of them figured out how to make a, like, constantly engaging water level.
I think that's pretty correct. Also, it is time for that donation train to leave the station, so get those $5 donations in now. Every amount is helping us and helping Point of Pride to support queer people. No matter how much you can give, it is making a tangible difference in queer people's lives.
Okay, coming over here to the boss. These boss portals are kind of scattered throughout the level. They do close up whenever you kill the boss, but they're nice to be able to use as, like, a makeshift tag barrel. You can just kind of, like, use a portal and go, okay, I'm going to fight the boss as this Kong, and then once I beat the boss, I'll exit as that desired Kong. So, like, right here, Tiny's blueprint is in the section right out here, and this skips having to walk all the way back to the tag barrel. And this is Puff Toss. These stars that spawn in are in a set pattern every time, so the game tries to be very tricky with them. It tries to set them at a spot where you wouldn't see them if you just drive around normally. So if you follow a pretty specific path, you can save a lot of time over a casual player. So like right here, it tries to set a star behind you to where you drive past it and you don't even notice it. I know better though. These are all just in a row, and luckily on this boss I can just tank this damage, I don't really care about it. Wow, that sent me to space, that was crazy. I'm gonna do that. It's kind of a brutal boss fight, by the way. Poor guy.
Yeah.
I just kind of like show up in his little pond and then start electrocuting.
Yeah, why does he even
him.
have those?
I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe he has like a PC setup or something that he needs electricity for. He's like a gamer.
Oh yeah, this is not like here to wall the pufferfish in. This is you like misappropriating his infrastructure that he needs to play video games.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense to me at least.
Maybe he's also raising money for Point of Pride.
So true. Okay, just one more phase of this guy, if I can Get that star. Okay, one more phase. This one is pretty devious about setting stars. Like, this one, if you know the pattern for it, is the easiest phase. Like, you just come over here, and then right here, you just double back on yourself right here, double back on yourself again. Ooh, come on, there we go. Alright, that's Puff Toss done. Kind of a funny looking thing where you drive into him as he dies, it looks like he swallows you up. And if I did that right, I should be directly on top of the key as it spawns. Oh, I got it. Okay, nice. A tiny little time save. Saves only a couple of seconds, but it releases the happy brain chemicals, for sure. Okay, and like I mentioned, this was basically a free tag for me. I could just go straight over here and get Tiny's thing. I'm actually going to play my instrument to get this. Oh my god, this guy's so annoying. So I'm just... If he shockwaves or something while I'm trying to charge a shockwave, I lose that trade, and I will go flying off the cliff. Okay, tag Lanky. Do another phase walk over here. There we go. I'll use this to get through this gate without opening it, which requires Donkey Kong, which requires yet another tag. For here, I will get... I mentioned Randy earlier. This game also has Engard, the swordfish. This will be the only time you see him, so he's a silly little guy. He's a little cutie, for sure. Okay, we use him to open this chest, and that concludes the Engard portion of this run.
I did. Certified little guy. Big supporter of little guys.
He has a great little theme,
Oh,
too.
yeah. No, there has to be... There's some Grant Kirkhope work in this game, right? Okay.
Yes, yes.
For those unfamiliar, Grant Kirkhope also contributed music to, oh my gosh, Banjo-Kazooie. I lost that for a moment. I was very concerned.
Yeah, pretty much all Rareware games from this time. They have... All Rareware games at this time, they were a very interesting studio, honestly. Like, all just making these kind of, like, outrageous collectathons with just different IPs and stuff. Very interesting. I wish these sorts of games still existed.
Yeah, and it's interesting seeing some of the more modern attempts to recapture them. Don't feel like they really have stuck in quite the same way. Games like Yooka-Laylee.
For sure. And this game also has... It definitely has a little bit of a bad reputation. I think, like, full disclosure, I think a lot of that bad reputation is kind of unfair. Like, there are some things that have definitely aged poorly in this game, but it's just a really fun collectathon, honestly. It's got some jank, but, I mean, it's got some charming jank, for sure. It's a very silly little game. I mean, how can you not smile at, like, this, like the O Banana over and over and over again? Like, this is awesome.
In fact, as I was looking into this, the game ahead of the run, I was really shocked at how few runs there seemed to be for the game. I thought it would surely be on at least a tier below some of the Mario games from this era.
Yeah, it's got a very passionate community, I will say. Some of the names that have been, like, speedrunning and doing routing and glitch hunting for this game have been around since, like, 2002, and they're still finding stuff and contributing to
That's incredible.
Just, like, insane. Swim through vertical walls here. Whoa, what are you doing, Lanky? Chill out. Okay, swim through vertical walls here, thank you. And what we did earlier is we actually turned in the first set of blueprints in this run. Again, blueprints are 1-to-1, and so I will want to turn those in occasionally. And you might think that's kind of suspicious, like, why would you want to take multiple trips to Snide? Like, isn't that kind of slow? It's a nice, like, little stimulus package of bananas, though, because entering levels does have a requirement for, you know, collecting golden bananas. And some of those costs are pretty steep. In fact, if I didn't ever turn in blueprints over the course of the run across multiple trips, Castle, for example, requires 80 golden bananas to enter, and by that time, you know, 80 minus 100 is 20. if I have blueprints at that point, like, if I have more than 20 blueprints, they just get entirely wasted. So I want to use it to kind of, like, advance my progress towards that goal of entering the next level. Especially since you can think as well, like, a level will have X number of fast golden bananas, and I could continue staying in the level and, like, collecting more golden bananas to reach my goal, but that means I'm collecting more slow golden bananas. Why not just, like, fast forward that process and instantly get into the next level and collect more fast things there? It's a very interesting route. It's a very challenging game to route, I will say, actually.
Does that lead to periodic significant route shakeups when someone says, oh, well, actually, this one new glitch means that this entire other set of a dozen bananas is more optimal?
Yes. In particular, No Levels Early isn't super ran at the moment, but 101% is like a weekly minor reroute category.
Oh, fascinating.
It is quite crazy. They actually, I don't know how many people are implementing it, but they found a pretty significant route overhaul to that does levels in a pretty different order, and it saves like 30 seconds or something. Like, very cool that that's still
That
happening.
never ceases to amaze me. Like, this game is from, what, like, the late 90s?
1999.
1999. The fact
Yeah.
that I'm sure people haven't been running it necessarily straight from the start, but probably pretty close to that. And to have changes
Yeah, about
occurring still.
2005, I would
Okay.
say.
That just absolutely blows my mind.
Oh, okay, so the starfish is named Patrick. See if you can figure out why. But also, we hate this guy. He is the worst. This is a guy who either leaves you alone and is no problem, or loses you like 30 seconds, and we're getting the second outcome. There we go. Alright, we're done with that, thankfully.
No, this isn't Donkey Kong. This is Patrick.
Okay, and the last thing we're going to do here is we're going to swim over to Chunky's Golden Banana, and then after that I am going to do the hardest trick in my route. I'm going to do a spawn snag on the cannon minigame, and I have to do quite a lot of out-of-bounds movement with very close void triggers. It's difficult to tell without trying it yourself, but if I make a wrong move, I will void out and go back to the start of the level instantly. And then, once I get close to the golden banana, I need to move very slightly in a way that doesn't load the golden banana. Wow, this guy is being a troll. Surely you want me up now. Okay, there we go. Hello? Hello? Spinning. There we go. Okay, this guy is very silly. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'm going to do a phase walk, do some out-of-bounds movement. I'm going to try to grab a golden banana from out-of-bounds before I'm normally supposed to be able to. And I really need to avoid loading it, so I'm going to lock in just a tiny little bit. First try phase walk, that's awesome. Okay. I want to aim for this section of the wall, and then I'm looking for these sparkles right here. Very nice.
Awesome.
Okay, and then once the camera gets adjusted, this room will load, and I can walk straight out of bounds and have that be a very fast golden banana. Normally, to get that golden banana, you have to play a little cannon minigame that takes around 50 seconds or so, and on top of that, you have to get into the room and watch a bunch of cutscenes and stuff. So that's a golden banana you would never, ever, ever consider, but if you can spawn snag it, it becomes one of the fastest in the game.
Here's a donation to celebrate. We have $10 in from Fimbs, who simply says,
Oh.
Donkey.
Thank
you so much for your donation to Point of Pride. If you're listening, you too can donate to Point of Pride by putting !donate in chat, or, as always, going to the pinned link at the top of Twitch chat. We still need, let me do a quick refresh here, and then do math. We need $135 still to get the Glitch Showcase by the end of the run. Please help us get there. We're also creeping ever closer to 200 total donations for the marathon. We're still a little bit away from it, but I think we can get there tonight between Donkey Kong and Deltarune. So help us get to 200 total donations. Help us get to 6,666 raised during Archiethon 666. And help us get that glitch exhibition.
And kind of a tricky little golden banana here. That went excellent. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to enter this loading zone from the back, and that is a really fast way to get into Column Z while getting a golden banana. Really smooth little trick there.
Something else I never questioned as a child was the design of a cage that for some reason has like 8 different locks on it.
Yeah, they really, really wanted to keep them in there.
And like, what is it closing? None of these have seams. It's not holding together anything to keep this guy caged. He can also probably just fit through the upper part of that.
Yeah, he could definitely get through there if he wanted to. Maybe he just doesn't want to, you know? Like, he's getting time off work and stuff. Like...
You see, this is why we need more realism in video games.
It's true. Okay, so I phase walk there to get this golden banana from out of bounds. Normally you have to do a puzzle with O-stand sprint. But I can skip that, and then I void out here, and that'll put me to the start of DK Isle. This really doesn't seem like it, but that is one of the most time-saving phase walks in the entire run. It saves a bunch of transforming, and saves a couple of loading zones and having to walk back here. I'm not counting things that give you a, like, golden banana. Like, that is a golden banana you consider anyway. But if you add a phase walk to it, it's like 20 seconds faster. It's very, like, you would not expect it, but... Pretty neat section here. One of the few times we'll see Hunky Chunky. The main interesting thing with Hunky Chunky is he moves super fast. So we're going to do some stuff here while we're big.
To be clear, does the game use the term Hunky Chunky, or is that more of a community thing?
He is called Hunky Chunky in-game.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's very good. Okay. Should be good to swim a little bit here. Want to be a little bit careful. There we go. Grab that golden banana from underneath. Then swim back inbounds. And grab this golden banana that I just opened up. 2 fast ones back to back. It's a very nice section to have golden bananas too, because we can immediately go from here and chain this into entering Fungi Forest. The next level will be playing. Oh, come on, Chunky. Come on, Chunky. There you go. Alright, and into Fungi. We'll immediately tag Tiny and get started. It's a pretty chill level. There's a couple of tricky things going on. So main gimmick with this level, if you've played this game before, you probably know, is this clock right here. It's a mix of like a birdhouse and a clock. There are switches on it that when you press, they toggle the day-night cycle of this level, and there's certain golden bananas you can only get at day, and certain ones you can only get at night. And what I have described is like one of the slowest things ever. It's a super long cutscene, and it requires you to climb up to the clock and all that. So we are not going to interact with that system at all, and instead some nighttime golden bananas we will be getting, but obviously we can kind of just go through the walls that would prevent us from doing that. And we're going to tackle this mushroom in a way you probably wouldn't do casually. It is something you could do, but like, this isn't how 90% of people are doing this probably. What we're going to do, we're going to tag Diddy here, and we're going to go to the back. And right over here is a rocket barrel, which will get us to the top of this mushroom very, very fast. Inside the mushroom is like a whole platforming section that's real slow. So. Oh, come on, Monkey. Oh, okay. Very silly little guy. Oh, I got an orange from that. Very nice. I only kill that guy if he's in my way, and he was very in my way, but a good thing about killing him is he can drop oranges for you, which is appreciated. And this is one of the fastest golden bananas in the game. There it is. Alright, and coming up here, if I do a jump for exactly 1 frame, I will avoid taking fall damage here and save a bit of time. I think I got it. Very nice. If you don't do a 1 frame jump there, you end up going through a splat animation, and it's just kind of slow. It loses like 3 seconds. And we're going to tackle this mushroom from the top down. So now we're going to play Diddy, we're going to go over here, go inside the mushroom and get his blueprint. And hopefully not get owned by this bee, thank you. Ooh, okay, my shockwave did not charge all the way. It's kind of a laggy room, which changes the timing of your shockwave. Come down here. If you crouch in the air, you can avoid taking fall damage, so I do that and then I pull out my camera. Reduces a bit of lag. Alright, and coming up is a relatively easy trick, but I do need to concentrate just a tiny little bit. It's going to be another skew setup. I'm going to pull my gun underwater. Use the camera so I can go into first person, and I'll swim through vertical walls. And then I want to aim over here, and I want to veer off to the left about here, and once Diddy deloads, I'm going to swing left. Like that. And if you swim just a little bit too long, you'll void out there and lose around a minute. There we go, and now we have skew again. Very short skew section here. Trying to think, this might be the last instance. Oh no, I do skew one more time in this run.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, it's a very powerful glitch. Wow, excellent RNG on this guy. Okay, so I use skew. It kind of seems weird why I would get skew, like I'm just grabbing the blueprint, but it does let me get into the anthill. And the anthill, normally you have to tag Tiny, play your instrument, so Archie is alerted and he flies over and he flies you up inside the anthill. Very slow process, sorry Archie, but we are just going to walk out of bounds and backflip in there instead. And I have to concentrate just a tiny little bit on this upcoming room.
Would you like me to talkie-talkie while you're concentrating, or would you prefer some quiet?
1 second, and then you can talk.
Sounds great.
Should be good? Okay, very nice. So I pluck that golden banana in the air, and I start falling because a cutscene occurred. And so I grab that golden banana, I fall into the pit, and I'm instantly back to the start of the level. And we've got some cutscenes coming up, so great time for donations.
Fantastic. I'm happy to announce that we have opened a new bid war. This is going to be for our already unlocked bonus game of Deltarune Chapter 4. At the end of the run, we can decide whether or not we hug Ralsei. So think hard about that. If you want to hug Ralsei, you can donate to have that option. But if you want to move faster and not lose time to that, you can vote to not hug him. All right? Think about it, Twitch chat. And don't forget, we still have that glitch showcase, and we really need to meet that by the end of this run. We have only about an hour left, so we are running out of time. Make sure to get those donations in, attach them to the exhibition, and we will all see more DK and some wildness that does not fit into this, the regular No Levels Early run.
Turning in some blueprints here, once again, I think it requires 60 golden bananas to get in the caves, which is extremely steep, so we're going to turn in some blueprints here. Actually, I believe it's 65, I'm sorry, which is, yeah, expensive. And this boss coming up, this is a revisit of Dogadon, which, you know, last time we fought this guy, this was an auto-scroller. It's going to look just a little bit different this time, though. This is one of the funniest things in the game. was a weird lag spike. The phase walk here to get into the boss. There we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do... Let's go over here. I'm going to let him do his first phase as normal, and then I'm going to waddle with the barrel just a little bit. Alright, Dogadon's dead, and I'm chunky by the way.
Done.
So, for whatever reason, it's understood why, I don't understand why, but if you take damage on the same frame that he takes damage, the game just, like, does not like that. It thinks you have killed the boss as Chunky, which is the boss, or the Kong you're intended to do this boss as, and it just instantly plays a cutscene where this guy dies, and skips this boss, which is a complete auto-scroller, probably about 2.5 minutes saved. That trick is called Dogadon Quick.
I wonder why.
Yeah. And I'll show off a bit more with that glitch during the glitch exhibition, by the way.
But only if you can help us make it happen. We do have some help coming in. We got $50 from Fresh Maniac, who simply says, Bulbor buys.
Ooh,
Thank you so much, Fresh Maniac. That means that we need now, oh, math again, 85 scant dollars for that glitch showcase. We are so close. Just a few more donos and we can get there. Help us out. Exclamation point donate in the chat.
I'll break up the flow of the run just a little bit just to show this off. This out of bounds right here is as easy as it looks. This wall just does not work. But I actually had that at GDQ. I was playing this game at GDQ, and some of my Celeste friends who were there, you know, who have never played this game before, I just told them, like, hey, walk into that wall, and yeah, you just hold forward on the control stick, you can get through there. I think, by far, the funniest part about that wall is they knew it was broken, and they fixed it in the PAL release, which is the later revision of this game. Usually it's not the later revision, but in this case it was. And the way they patched that wall being broken, you would think, oh, they just fixed the collision. No! They put a small box in front of the wall. It is still broken. Amazing.
Something that I still can't get over from, you know, the days before online updates for games, that they'd release it in one region, realize there were issues, and, well, at least begin patch it for a different reason, or try to, and create new issues.
Yeah, and what's funny in this game, actually... Oh, I thought something really bad happened there. That's fine. This is another skew. Anyway. Let me kill this guy, sorry. Okay, void out. But yeah, as I was saying, the Japanese version of this game, again, is a later revision of this game. And they fixed the trick that lets you swim through vertical walls, which is very bad for the speedrun. And that's Fungi done, by the way. That was a pretty solid Fungi. Went about as well as I could ask. I actually golded that split by, like, 11 seconds in practice today, so I've figured out something with it.
Nice.
Okay, come over here, get this very laggy golden banana. A fun fact, that jump I just did as Diddy Kong is extremely hard on Wii U VC, Virtual Console that is, because the game does not lag, and again, the game speeds up the Kong whenever the game is lagging to compensate. So that jump is just way harder. There we go, good dance skip. I really want to dance skip there because again, it's so laggy that that dance skip, or that dance takes like 7 seconds to play out. Go ahead and go over here. You have any other plugs or anything going on right now? We got another cutscene coming up.
Absolutely. For anyone who's just joining us, welcome to Archiethon. We are this year raising money for Point of Pride, an organization whose mission it is to provide powerful affirmation for trans people. They serve the members of the community who face the biggest challenges in accessing the care they need, taking an equity-based approach to address the failures of unequal levels of privilege and access. Their programs create transformative changes for the recipients of their care, extending beyond the direct service that they provide. Through this, they foster trans joy, celebrating the resilience, beauty, and power of the people they serve. For more information, please visit pointofpride.org. And as always, pardon me, you can put an exclamation point donate in the chat to bring up that donation link. As trans people myself, I am always in favor of raising money for those of us who are not able to access the care and resources that they need.
Alright, so that cutscene did open the final 2 levels in a run. That will be Crystal Caves and Castle. Caves, easy candidate, no argument, no debate, no discussion, is the hardest level in the run. I have changed my route quite a bit to accommodate that. If I was going for a PB, I would be doing a different route here that involves a very long and very hard skew section. But I have a, I don't want to say a cheese route, but like a marathon safe route that I felt comfortable doing, that we'll be saying. But even with that removed, this level is extremely difficult. And right here, okay, I got, community calls that meme jump. That jump looked kind of weird, where it was like, I had to do kind of a weird curved, like, jump that was like weirdly precise. The developers just like wanted you to do that to enter caves for some reason. There's not really a better way of doing that jump. Very funny. Worth noting as well, my PB actually fails that jump once, which is a 20-second.
Oh no!
Yeah. And yeah, this section coming up right here is the huge bottleneck for routing. Going to tag Diddy and get one last golden banana here, and that's going to put me exactly at 65, which is how much I need to get into caves. Oh, I got a bug when I entered the barrel here that really messed up my turning radius. That's fine. This game has a couple of bugs.
I don't believe you.
That was kind of a cool, it's not a full dance skip or anything, but it skips a little bit of a cutscene where the golden banana bounces into you. Saves like a second or so. And there we go, that's exactly 65, in the caves we go. Immediately, a little bit of lock-in time. I will explain what I'm doing after I get it. But I need this to go, I'm on a timer here, basically. So I'm gonna come over here. Pull out my gun and start walking. Okay, I need to do that right when the water was at the highest level of its cycle, otherwise the skew would fail. So now I'm going to come over here and swim out of bounds. I'm going to set up skew. Very good. Okay, so now I have skew and I am on a race against the clock. There's a global cutscene that occurs in this level once you have been in the main area for long enough, where a guy swings a club and makes a bunch of rocks fall from the ceiling. And that cutscene takes about 15 seconds. So, if I play it at a proper pace, which I have, very nice, I can enter that rocket barrel and ensure this cutscene will not play in this section, which buys me a bit more time. I am still racing against the clock here. I need to go into this section as soon as I can. Okay. And I'm off the clock here. This isn't considered the main area of caves, so I'm not fighting against that timer. Go ahead and skew out again and go back into the rocket barrel. And skew does apply when you're in rocket barrel, so you can do this. Very funny. And this skew was to fly all the way over here to this tag barrel. And we're still skewed. And unfortunately, this is the last we're going to see of Lanky Kong lying on his back.
Oh no! Say goodbye to skew, everyone.
Okay, so I'm gonna kill this guy. Go and fly up here. This is the only time you see this balloon ability. We really want to enter this hut as skew though, because to get up here normally you have to do that balloon ability, and then you have to play your instrument, which is like 20 seconds of cutscenes basically. But we can go right in here and get a pretty fast golden. Oh, okay. That bomb can knock you into the water, which is a very bad time loss. Not only does that lose the time of falling and having to get back up, that would guarantee I get that 15-second cutscene that I am still avoiding for the record. You can phase walk into this hut, but if you phase walk into here too slowly, again, you'll get that 15-second cutscene, so I'm going to play my instrument. And, skew anyway, or not skew, phase walking into this hut only saves, like, 5 seconds or so overplaying your instrument, so you're kind of high-rolling on it going fast. And this is a very finicky trick that'll take me about that long. Get up on the railing, backflip in that golden banana. Very nice. Skips to animation too, makes it one of the fastest in the game. Okay, go over here. Another out of bounds that you can just do. Very easy, just roll right there. This cave has gone fantastic, by the way, so far. This is like easy gold pace. Fortunately, I am not going to do the fastest route for the ending, but I would be very happy with this in the PB pace run so far.
And the fact that you've been having to stave off a cutscene this entire time is wild to me.
Yeah, it's this chapter. Celeste brain. This level's so hard.
Oh, do people here play Celeste sometimes?
Apparently. Y'all know any Celeste players in chat?
Yeah, any Celeste players in chat? I don't know where to go to find Celeste players. I've been told that maybe I can go to @celestecom.bsky.social, or I can join the Discord by putting an exclamation point in Discord in chat. But other than that, I have no idea where to find Celeste runners.
Yeah, phase walk there. Alright, this room, I will complain about it being very random, but this is one of the most skill-based rooms in the game. It is a skill I do not possess. If you possess the skill, please DM me. Oh my goodness. Okay, do that. It's just I have to throw oranges at all these crocodiles, and they move erratically, and it's really rough. But at the end of it, I'm going to hold this ledge, and the golden banana is going to fly into me, and I'll void out.
That's super cute.
Alright, and finally, I hyped it up so much, the payoff for that cutscene skip I was going for. I'm going to come up here, and it's going to be a little bit of platforming to get over here. I'm kind of wasting some time on the timer right now. And I'm going to charge a shockwave to kill this blueprint guy that I tagged at the very start of the level. Alright, I'm going to tag back, and I'm going to wait just a little bit. I'm going to collect a crystal coconut while I wait, because I might as well. Okay, and right now-ish. And it tries to pull me into a cutscene, but I'm going through the work, so I skip it. That's about 15 seconds saved.
That's
Very
so
nice.
cool. And you've been juggling that since essentially you entered this area.
Correct, yeah. Since I've started the level, I've been juggling that pretty much the whole time.
Absolutely wild. That's so cool.
Oh, okay. Turned into... Oh, this is bad. Alright, well, I have to climb back up there, that's fine. That's caves in a nutshell. You can play extremely well, and then you get bad RNG, and you get sent careening down and lose, like, 30 seconds or so. Unfortunate, but it happens. You can hear in the background that, like, there's music changing and rocks are falling, but the first time that happens in a level, by the way, very awesome, that a rock just fell on me. The first time that happens in a level is when that cutscene plays, so once I've seen that cutscene once, I never have to worry about it again. Alright, there we go.
Also, on your current pace, how much time would you wager we have left in the run?
I'd have to look at my splits, actually. Oh wait, I want to be tricky right now.
Yeah,
Give me just
no
1
worries.
second, I can give you a definite answer on that. Sorry, I don't really know my internal pace, being honest, especially with some of the mishaps at the start of the run.
Totally fine. Well, we have about an hour left in the estimate, actually a bit under that, folks. So we need to make sure that glitch showcase happens. We are still $85 away from it of the $250 that we need. But we are swiftly running out of time. If you want to see more cool nonsense that does not fit into the no levels early route or is just absolutely hilarious. So please make sure you get those donations in, and when you do so, select the glitch showcase as your incentive. You have to do that manually.
Yeah, and you have about 45 minutes to do that. By the way,
45 minutes, y'all!
So lock in. I just missed it. Okay, I want to land right on that warp. I, you know, still developing my 3D, like, existing in a 3D space, you know, is difficult for me, so it's difficult for me to judge the depth on that. Depth perception, that's what it is. Yeah, normally this golden banana I'm getting, you would get this by doing, a clip from outside of the igloo. It's really inconsistent and annoying. And speaking of inconsistent and annoying, is this phase walk right here, very laggy. So I have to slow down my inputs from what I'm usually doing. And just as a reminder, every time I'm doing one of these is 2 frame perfect inputs in a 2 frame window. If this doesn't cooperate, I can go the intended route. I think I'm pressing Z too early. I'll give this like 10 more seconds. There we go. Yeah, a lot of the innovations the current record holder has put into this category is removing a lot of phase walks that lag the game, just because they're so inconsistent and difficult that you usually lose a lot of time, like, on an average sort of basis. So there's a lot of places where you'll phase walk at a spot where it's, like, technically a worse line, like it's slightly worse to do a phase walk from that spot, but it's way less laggy, so it becomes so much easier to input. It's the same muscle memory as usual. That's a place where you just can't avoid it. Okay, exit the igloo. I didn't get bopped around by that guy, which is nice. Forgot where the tag barrel is, all of it. So I tagged Lanky right here. And I'm going to go to his part of the 5-door igloo. Just like the 5-door temple in Aztec, this is the 5-door igloo, 1 door for each Kong. We're only going to do Tiny and Lanky because everyone else's is kind of slow when I aim for this one right here. Alright, for whatever reason, I do not understand why this room is so laggy, but it is. So it's a very frustrating room. Okay, I got that jump first try, which is nice. Okay. Very nice. Oh, just the fall down, that's fine. So this is normally a golden banana you wouldn't consider without phase walking, because to get out of this room, there's a grate on the door. And that grate doesn't open until you kill all the enemies, which takes a long time and has a bunch of cutscenes associated. Let me again struggle with this phase walk. I might have to just kill the enemies. This phase walk's a tricky one for sure. There we go. Okay, and then we use that to walk through this grate. Probably, with all those failed attempts, that probably still save time. Oop, there we go. Okay, do that. Last thing we're going to do in this igloo section, and the second to last thing we're going to do in caves. I do not have an instrument, so I cannot... What you can occasionally do if this guy tries to shockwave you is pull out your instrument and play your instrument and just kind of iframe through it. But I don't have instrument ammo. Kind of forgot about that. This route doesn't collect it for Chunky, so... Okay, I'm going to swim through vertical walls here. And then... Surprise, surprise, we're going to jump into this general direction, find a room. And that's Knight's Hut. Alright, few cutscenes coming up. Great time for donations
Absolutely.
or shoutouts.
One quick question. Is that igloo essentially a non-Euclidean space? You enter through different doors and it's somehow a different room?
Yeah, it seems so. That's a good point, actually, yeah, because it's way larger on the inside than it is on the outside, so...
Super weird. That is
I
not
don't know.
related to anything. I was just curious. But I did want to shout out this $5 anonymous donation. They're saying, I think it's time the dono train makes its stop at CelesteCommunity. $5 dono train to reach that glitch incentive? I think that is a fantastic idea because even with that $5 donation, we still need, let me refresh and do math, it looks like $80 to get that glitch showcase. That is not very many $5 donations though. So if you happen to have some stuff lying around that you could use for coffee, you can probably use it to help out Point of Pride and help us get that glitch exhibition at the same time. As always, you can put an exclamation point donate in chat, or you can go to the pinned link at the top. I would still love to hear more about people's favorite banana foods or what your Donkey Kong family gun would fire, like what fruits or vegetables or feathers apparently. Let's say we are approaching 1:55, is not that far off. So at 1:55, 1 hour, 55 minutes, let's get another donation train queued up and we can get that glitch incentive.
This is the first section. So for a few Kongs from this point forward, for Lanky and Chunky, we are done collecting blueprints for them for the rest of the run. So this is a good place to turn them in. We need 80 golden bananas to get into the castle, so this is a great way to give myself a little stimulus package.
Oh, and banana stimulus
And of
package
course,
is going to be in my head for a
banana.
while. It's a really good phrase.
Yeah. I think that's the last one coming up right here.
Oh, banana.
There we go. Should have 86 and exiting this section.
Hello, the Samantha TM. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, folks. You are now watching Archiethon, a speedrunning marathon hosted by Celeste runners, playing other speed games and unique Celeste categories. Right now, we are playing the most unique Celeste category, which is no levels early in Donkey Kong 64 for the Nintendo 64, and we are working towards raising money for a glitch exhibition that we are very close to. We need a scant $80 more to make that happen, and we even have a donation train that's going to leave the station in about 4 minutes. Folks have been telling us their favorite banana-themed foods or banana-containing foods, or what their Donkey Kong-style gun would fire, like what fruits. So, if you want, feel free to help us get there and tell us those things.
And this is a refight of the first boss in the game. Unfortunately, this guy is a very uninteresting boss. Again, it's all lag reduction and really bad hitboxes on his face. What I'll do here, one thing I didn't mention on the first fight, but it applies here as well, is I'm going to roll into him between phases, and that just makes him go to his next phase faster. But from here, we're just going to pull a good old GoldenEye speedrunning special, and we're going to look at the floor to reduce lag.
Classic.
There we go. Because yeah, he shoots out a giant shockwave, and that causes a ton of lag to be looking directly at. Let me walk this barrel over them, I almost forgot to do that. And it exploded, I don't really know why that happens. The goal with moving that barrel closer to him is just so that there's less of a distance for it to travel. If I'm just completely waiting, there's no reason not to do it. So that's 2 of 3 hits. Or 2 of 4 hits, rather. And this time he'll do 2 shockwaves, so I'm going to get on top of this barrel and see it from there, because the shockwave will actually whiff on me. One barrel. There we go. Pick this up, and hopefully this one goes better. That actually might be close enough to damage him instantly. I hope it is. Not quite. So if that's just close enough to him, you can skip this process of throwing the barrel at him, and he'll instantly pop out of his shell and get hit. Very nice. So just one more section of shockwaves. Normally, for the first version of this fight, this is where he would be dying, or not dying, he would be scurrying away, but this time he's a bit more resilient. So I'll do one more set of shockwaves, I guess just to demonstrate that here's what happens if you don't lag reduce on this. It is very slow, but instead, if you just see up and look at the ground, way faster.
A reminder, we got 2 minutes until that donation train leaves the station, so queue up your donations now.
Okay, last hit on this guy, he's going to fly in the air and shoot a few fireballs at me, then he's going to shoot out a missile. As soon as that missile dies, he will start laughing at me, and that's when I can finish him off. So I'm going to tank this missile, try to skid jump into it. Oops. There we go. Oh, okay, there it is, where you skip having to throw the barrel into him. It actually saves the most time to get on the last hit, so... And that's second to last key, or second to last, yeah, I guess key. There's another key we get, but it's pretty different from the other ones. Okay, and to finish off this level, we're going to go over here, and phase walk, and void out. Alright, and then immediately exiting the caves, another... Oh wait, I gotta actually exit the level. Fine, it gives me an orange, but I'm going to pull my camera here, and... that'll also let me go out of bounds right here. Okay, go ahead and angle myself here. Throw 2 oranges, damage boost myself across the lava, and another quick golden banana. And the really nice thing about this one is the lava will kill me at the end of this dance animation, and then it'll send me right here, and I can exit and go back to Isles immediately. A very satisfying route thing.
Also, it is time for that donation train to
Whoa,
leave the station, so make sure you submit your donations, apply them towards the glitch showcase, and tell us all about bananas or what your fruit gun would fire.
There we go, okay. And this will be the last of the main levels we do in the run. This is Creepy Castle. Very fitting for the theming of the marathon, you know. Yeah, Halloween is approaching, and this is a very spooky level.
I'm spooked, for sure. We also have our first ticket for that donation train. We have $5 from Jazz, who says, "Oh, donation." My favorite banana food is banana pudding, and I'm putting this donation towards the glitch showcase. Much love to Archiethon, Amber, and my favorite Fletch, and let's keep the train rolling. Thank you so much, Jazz, for your contribution to Point of Pride and for telling us about banana pudding.
Thank you. Right there, I grabbed Diddy's blueprint, and I def warp back so I get to tag barrel faster. I want to start this level out as Donkey Kong, so... go do that. Once again, 80, pretty steep price to enter, but since I've turned in some of my blueprints, it's a lot faster. Okay, we're not going to do a whole lot in Creepy Castle, honestly, since this is the last level you're expected to go to. By now, they're expecting you to be pretty familiar with this game, and, like, generally pretty good at it, so a lot of golden bananas take a lot longer. But I'm going to phase walk into this tree. Eventually. This is kind of a laggy one. There we go. Alright, and this section... shoot this switch. Oops. So a fun fact here, if I try to leave this tree normally, there's a grate that blocks the door. And I did not know this, but that grate, if you walk into it, like you try to leave the area without opening that gate, the game will soft lock. I found out about that during a PB pace run by accident, because I ran out of ammo in this room, and I was like, I can just leave and grab some, and the run died. It's still open.
Oh no.
Yeah, but now I know. Okay, so I'm gonna roll through that wall right there, just kind of a weak wall. Kick. Normally you get this golden banana by shooting some targets and raising water, but we can skip all that. Very slow. Swim through vertical walls. This is a very tricky swim through vertical walls, if I get it. There we go. Okay, it's been a while since I've gotten this. So I'm going to aim for a doorway from out of bounds, which is right over here. And this saves a lot of time over the other approach. Very happy I got this. It's been, like I said, quite a while since I've gotten that in a run. It's a shame about some of the mishap at the start. This would definitely be a PvP run if not for that, but so it goes. Okay, and that is the last blueprint we were getting in the run. So we have to turn in blueprints on Diddy Kong, which we've already turned in a few prior, so that won't take very long. And then we have to turn in everything we've collected as Donkey Kong so far. Go up here, and we're going to rocket barrel all the way to the top of Snide's hut. There's another level where you're kind of expected to climb up a really long section, but instead, Rocket Barrel is there to greatly streamline this. Let me actually zoom in on this Rocket Barrel to reduce a bunch of lag. Okay, has anyone else boarded the donation train?
I'm refreshing. It's taking me a quick moment here, but I do want to remind folks we only have, I don't know, probably under 30 minutes at this point? Does that sound accurate?
About half an hour on the dot.
All right, we got 30 minutes left to make sure that we can hit the goal for that glitch showcase. So make sure to get donations in. I'd love to learn more about bananas, or perhaps you want to tell us about some of your favorite glitches, either from this game or really from any game. I'm happy to always learn more about glitches and fun things that we see in speedruns. You can put an exclamation point donate in chat, or you can go to the pinned link, help us hit that glitch showcase, and make sure that when you put a donation in, you select that as your incentive. There is a manual step required to do it.
Whoa, that was an interesting interaction. Okay, anyway, so now we're going to tag Donkey Kong here and turn in his blueprints, and once we do that, we will have 98 golden bananas out of the 100 we need to finish the run.
Oh my gosh, y'all. We are so close to that glitch showcase. We have this $25 anonymous donation that is putting us within spitting distance, just $50 left to hit it. I know we can get there, folks. It does not take much. Every donation is going towards Point of Pride and is a fantastic cause to support. $5, $10, whatever you're able to give, it is making a difference. Also, I'd love to hear some bananas in chats and in donos.
Yeah, unfortunately, you have to really take it in here, because this is unfortunately the last time we'll hear a huge chain of
Alright, I'm gonna have this is gonna have to carry me over to the next time that I host for a DK64 run then. Bottle up that banana for later.
I really also like when DK is so happy after he gets a golden banana and he does that, yeah.
I would be happy if I got a golden banana. That sounds rad.
Okay, a weird trick here. Okay, hit the loading zone. Okay, that was a ledge clip. There's just kind of a gap in between that floor and wall that you can fall through. I just do C up and like exit and enter C up just to kind of help me move in tiny little increments because it makes you stop on a dime whenever you C up. That's a really fast golden banana, by the way. And it chains super nicely from Snide. Okay, and coming up is the second to last boss in the run. This one I will enter as Donkey Kong, but whenever I enter this fight, it automatically turns me to Lanky Kong. So it doesn't really matter who I enter this fight as. K. Rool jump scare, by the way.
I actually did find this level pretty terrifying as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, some of the music, and especially the crypt section, is, like, legitimately scary. I mean, in general, the music in this game is fantastic. Grant Kirkhope did a great job.
That is certainly true.
And this boss, a lot of RNG, it'll do 2 phases of this laser where I just want to reduce lag. And then I want to immediately get up on the platform and be ready to select a cannon to hit it. I can kind of angle my camera to be able to see it as fast as possible, but also, instead of like paying attention to where K. Rool is, I'm actually paying attention to a light on the floor that lights up the cannon that he is closest to. And here, if I get good RNG... bad RNG. Okay, that's fine. I have to wait a little bit here. Go ahead and reduce supply while I do that. If I get good RNG there, I can skip having to hit him immediately. And this phase tries to kind of fake you out by having 2 versions of K. Rool. One is fake. He's a little bit darker than the other one. And yeah, someone in chat mentioned it. On emulator and Wii U Virtual Console, things like this have no lag whatsoever. And so, this level becomes so much harder because the devs expected you to be lagging a little bit. In particular, there's one minigame, not played in NLE, but it's played in 101%, where Wii U VC runners will literally pause buffer the minigame because it goes so fast. It's very silly. Okay, so this phase, he's going to go haha and like bolt around a whole bunch. I want to be ready to move into him as soon as possible.
To clarify, is the cardboard cutout the thing screaming?
Yes.
That is terrifying.
I mean, maybe it's the operators, but like, doesn't make a difference, you know?
Yeah, I can't see whoever's screaming, and that's what concerns me.
Okay, one last kind of particular thing I am doing here is I want to look for a specific pattern of cobwebs. I think it's over here. Hopefully I didn't miss a cycle here. Okay, I did. That's fine. That's fine, because I definitely want to show this off. I kind of forgot about it. Okay, so now I'm going to wait over by this particular barrel, and the cobwebs on the wall kind of help me orient myself. So now, once I go through here, I know this is the wall that I can swim through vertical walls on. And so doing that, we'll consider Lanky as having been killed off, basically, by shooting him out of the cannon. Rest in peace. But that'll make me tiny, and this upcoming section I want to be tiny, so... that is fine by me. Sorry, Lanky. And there we go, that's the boss dead. Maybe a tiny bit of photosensitivity warning here. There's lightning flashing during the cutscene. It's a little bit dark. A little bit of flashing lights.
Dang, brutal. You totally destroyed that cardboard cutout of King K. Rool.
Yeah, and they just kind of bolt. They have no idea what to do about it. If you're looking away, you can look back now for the record. And here, I'm going to do a swim through vertical walls to get back into the key instantly, because it puts you into the center of the arena, and it instantly puts you into the key, basically. Maybe a little bit redundant, but... Okay, and now, very exciting stuff. It is time for the last golden banana of the run.
Oh my gosh, everyone prepare your bananas.
And it's kind of funny, this is the only time in my route that I end up going, other than the final boss fight, that I go tiny. This is basically the whole point of the character. This is all that this character does, is go small. But it's a really slow cutscene, and usually being small means you're moving really slow. So it's just something you would avoid when possible. There we go. That is 100 golden bananas. We'll finish off this level by phase walking out of this trash can. There we go. And we'll void out, and that's the last real level in the rundown.
Nice. And congrats on 100 whole golden bananas. Also, thank you for this $5 donation from Bree12am, saying, I really enjoyed doing the elevator glitches in the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. You needed to buy a completely different game so you could play on an old patch. Then there were a couple setups where you'd set up your weapon on a ledge, change to legacy southpaw controls, and do some precise movements to get out of the map. Spent so long in lobbies with friends having fun getting out of maps. Thank you, Bree. That puts us even closer to that glitch showcase. I'll do a quick refresh here. We are a hair's breadth away. We only need $40 to get there, thanks also to this $6 donation from Veriphage. We are so short on time, though, folks. We have under 20 minutes based on our current heading to get there. Please make sure to put your donations in now to Point of Pride, ! Donate in chat, and we'll get more Archiethon and some very, very entertaining glitches. What's one of your favorite glitches that you can show off in the showcase if we get there, Amber?
It's hard to pick. I'm going to show off something really fun in multiplayer. I can just maybe leave it at that, but it's going to cause a lot of lag. If you think the game is lagging at times, you have not seen anything yet.
All right. I am so ready for it, but we can only make it happen if we raise another few dollars, just 40, for that glitch showcase. As always, when you put your donation in, make sure that you manually select the glitch showcase as the incentive that you are gunning for.
And there we go. So now we had to unlock Hideout Helm. A fun fact about this level is that you have to turn in both keys to fully open this level. It is very easy to kind of autopilot and only turn in one key to go up here, and that is something multiple runners have done in lots of PBs too.
That's absolutely something that I would do if I were running this game. I would totally forget that.
It hasn't happened to me yet, and I know it'll happen one day. But I guess I always think of it because I'm always like, I can't be that person doing that, you know? And speaking of this Vine section, for whatever reason, I guess this is a little bit laggy. It always throws me for a loop. But anyway, this is the reason why we needed 100 golden bananas, is because by category definition, we're not allowed to get past that guy. And now we're into Hideout Helm, and what basically lore-wise is K. Rool has primed a missile aimed at DK Isles, and in 43 minutes he is going to let it rip, and everyone is going to die. So, you know, less than ideal to avoid that. You will notice, however, you know, I don't have a whole lot left in this run, so this is, in fact, K. Rool mercy killing the run if I take too long. But beyond that, I'm going to shoot the switch. I'm going to tag Donkey Kong here. I'm going to do most of this level as Donkey Kong. Now that I'm not worried about collectibles and golden bananas and all of that, I can really just go straight to the end of this level. So I'm going to go out of bounds here. I'm going to kick into this switch. Okay, that's fine. Wow, nice grenade from that guy. That was a crazy snipe. Try that again. There we go. Okay, so I want to kick onto this switch. This is a very finicky trick, but it's still kind of new to me. Wow, first try phase walk. Okay, good. Hopefully I get it this time. There we go, perfect. And now I did that to raise my height. Basically the way Out of Bounds works is it kind of like remembers the height of the last floor you've been on. And it basically treats all the ground past that point as flat ground until it has a reason not to. So I did that to gain a bit of height. Now I'm going to inbound over here next to DK's section. My camera's being a little bit weird. Okay, I want to back foot back inbounds to get a little bit higher. Okay, then I want to phase walk out of this room. There we go. And now I'm going to follow the out-of-bounds section of this room. Okay. Whoa, weird camera stuff there. Let me orient myself a bit. Okay, right there. Camera is really wanting to snap on me, which is very weird. Okay, I inbounced here. That's fine. Not ideal, though. I have prepared for this, though. I'm not supposed to be in here, but this is a very laggy section. Okay, that's good. We'll have to do 3 phase walks to... or 4 phase walks, rather, to fix this. Just kind of an uncooperative camera. Come on. These are tough because they're laggy, too. Do you have any shots or anything while I go through this? We're getting very close to the end of the run
Yes,
here.
I wanted to use that to remind folks that we have very little time left. We still need that scant $40 raised to get the glitch showcase met. By my counts, if everyone in chat gave $1, which I don't know what the minimum is. I think the minimum might be $5. But in theory, if that were possible, we would already have met this incentive. It's so easy, and you can help us get their Twitch chat. Please make sure !donate in chat. Make it happen. We will see so many fun glitches on top of all the wild stuff that's already been happening here in DK64.
Alright, there we go. Salvaged. Sorry about that. Okay, this is Lanky's room. Okay, had to, again, just figure out where I am exactly. Camera is being very strange for me. Okay, so I want to walk, like, this way. And then I want to go, like, 90-degree turn here. There we go, this is the room I was looking for. Yeah, this is one of the newest things I've implemented, so I'm not too surprised that it went a little bit wrong. This is one of the oldest tricks known about in the run. I'll just show it real quick. This is for Battle Crowns. This is a collectible you would normally have to get. But this was probably published in Nintendo Power in like the 2000s or something. You can just kind of do this. And this skips having to collect all 4 Battle Crowns. It also skips having to get the Nintendo coin and the Rarer coin. Which getting those, I'm not going to get into it, but those are really disgusting to have to get.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure I didn't do that as a kid. I think I just couldn't finish the game from here.
Yeah, probably. I want to dance skip this. There we go. Okay, and then normally, so the glitch I did at the start of the run that gave me every move means I can't pause. So under normal circumstances, I would not be able to get out of this room. The only way to be able to get out of this room is by phase walking. So this phase, or being able to phase walk is route defining here. Otherwise, I would be soft locked in that room and I'd have to do something else to disable the glitch and allow me to pause exit from here. Should be the last phase walk of the run. There we go. Okay. And you can see on the bottom, since I exited Hideout Helm under means that they didn't really expect me to do so, I still have the timer. That'll be going for the rest of the run.
If you didn't beat the game, would it still spell Doom?
Oh yeah, you die instantly.
Oh,
when this
that's
time
really
ends.
funny. Wow.
Yeah. So luckily, you know, again, you can check the incentive, but if things went really bad, again, K-Rule is here to mercy kill.
Well, that's not the only timer we're fighting against, folks. We only have another 15-odd minutes to get the glitch showcase met. As always, there is a pinned link at the top of Twitch chat, or you can put an !donate into chat directly for that link. Every contribution to Point of Pride is going to a great cause and helping out queer people.
Pretty long cutscene here. So I mentioned way earlier in the run, this is what takeoff skip would skip. Again, this is right at the end of the run, and it's a really hard trick. But that being said, this cutscene is lovingly known as the best cutscene in the game for a reason, so definitely let it play out. And again, we're getting really close to time on that glitch incentive. A lot of really fun stuff I'd love to be able to show off. So, you got some last minute donations, get them in.
Oh my gosh. I've got more than a last minute donation. I've got this no comment, anonymous, $666 donation!
Very nice, thank you.
Whoever you are out there, thank you so much for your contribution to Point of Pride. Not only does that mean that we have completely blitzed through the glitch showcase, it also means we have raised more than $6,666 and more than $7,000 for Archiethon 666 for Point of Pride.
Yeah, thank you so much again for that donation. Also a very fitting time for that, I think. Watching the best cutscene in the game. And with that, I'm going to tag Warp 1, and we're going to go straight to K. Rool. Just tag 3, and we're good to go. I'm curious, what is the time of the run right now?
We are at 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 51, 52, 53, and counting seconds.
Okay. Wow, this would have, if the beginning, again, I messed up a trick at the beginning and had to hop on practice ROM, but if not for that, this would be quite close to PB.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it's been a pretty great run. And coming up is the K. Rool boss fight. They did not need to go nearly this hard on this boss fight. This is a 5-phase long boss that involves every single Kong, and it takes around 12 to 13 minutes to get through. Again, they did not need to go nearly so hard, but they did. And mind you as well, we talked about an 8% earlier, like a 20 to 25 minute category. Around 13 minutes of that run is this. It's this boss fight.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Okay, and we'll start off Donkey Kong phase, probably the easiest phase. Okay, I want to stand up here so that I can lag reduce. Then I want to try to time... Okay, I missed it. You can enter this barrel during the cutscene and kind of start this phase a little bit early. Okay, I buffered a shoot, that's fine. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to count swings, so after 4 I'm going to fire into him and just repeat that 4 times. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Ooh, whoops. It's fine. Again, the glitch I did at the start of the run gives me invincibility, so this is one place where it is kind of nice. And be a little bit ignorant, just kind of tank damage. Ooh, get it there, please. Okay, and that's the last hit of this phase. Not quite, actually. I got kind of... weird stuff happened with the cycle there. There we go.
I will shout out, we are not ones to rest on our laurels here at Archiethon, especially not when it comes to raising money for Point of Pride. So we have opened up one more incentive for your viewing pleasure. If we can raise just $50 towards this new incentive, then we will upgrade the upcoming final run of the marathon, Deltarune Chapter 4, from any percent to all bosses, adding in the secret boss of Chapter 4, Gerson, the Hammer of Justice. Again, we just need $50, but we do need to meet that by 13 minutes into the run. We only have a few minutes of this one and then 13 minutes of that run. But I think $50 is very achievable for all of you wonderful people out there. So make sure that when you put your donation in, you put it towards the All Bosses incentive.
Alright, so Diddy phase, this is maybe the most hated thing for casual players right here, is this phase. The thing is, though, there is a button that the game never ever tells you about, where if you hold Z, you can hover in the air, and that makes these shots, like, significantly easier, because you can just float there and then spam. But, yeah, for casual players, this section of the boss is dreadful. There we go. Alright, and that's Diddy's phase done. There's 3 more left.
I'm not terribly familiar with boxing. Is a 10-second knockout common practice? That feels very long.
I'm not sure, yeah. So let's see up here to do a bit of lag reduction. Whoa, I think I ran to the wrong part of the arena. Okay, we're about to freestyle this a little bit. So this phase of K. Rool has a set pattern. He runs to the same spots every time. So if you do this section perfectly, you can be in and out real fast. That was actually pretty good. So you play your instrument and he's going to run towards the sound, and you want him to slip on this banana peel. And in an ideal world, you plant his feet right on top of that banana peel to reduce the animation of him running at you. Especially since that cutscene's kind of laggy, so... kind of miss this cycle. I'm gonna go over here. Okay. Need him to run a bit more to the right. Nope, chose the left. That's unfortunate. Oh, I did not expect him to cut across. Whoops.
Is that navigation just heavily RNG dependent?
It's a little bit RNG dependent, especially now that, like, again, you can, ideally when this boss goes well, you can, just, like, kind of script it and get your way through it, but I messed up the script pretty early on, so I am kind of freestyling this right now. Oh, okay, well, Pat is over here. Okay, hopefully he runs over it. Okay, right there. Okay, that should be Lanky phase done, and coming up is Tiny. This phase, unfortunately, is really laggy and long, but, it is a pure auto-scroller, but it's got some interesting stuff going on, and it's all lag reduction. If you do not lag reduce on this boss, on this phase of this boss, it's about a 40 to 45 second time loss of pure lag.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Let me pull up something real quick. I need to have a text document up with the patterns for this coming up. And a very silly cutscene here. It's a bit more ominous with the timer at the bottom, I guess, so we really need them to get their act together.
While these crocs are helping out K. Rool, keep in mind that you can help trans people near you by donating to Point of Pride, our organization, for Archiethon this year. We only have this run and the Deltarune run left, so you are running out of time to get your contributions in. And if you get them in soon, you could help us unlock that upgrade to all bosses incentive for Deltarune. As always, exclamation point donate in the chat is the easiest way to donate money to Point of Pride.
Okay, again, I'm going to stand over here and lag reduce. And then after a certain number of shockwaves, I want to fly into the middle and be ready to grab a barrel. You can see just how laggy these shockwaves are. Alright, so this is the section that is extremely laggy. I want to put away my gun so that it puts away the little sniper scope effect. which saves a bunch of time, and I want to see up as much as possible in between these toes. And then I want to throw oranges to damage the toes. It's kind of a little-known fact that you can use oranges to do that, but it lets you damage the toes while you're looking at the floor, because normally if you shoot a feather, you would be looking directly at the toes as that cutscene fades out. And that costs a lot of time and lag. I think it adds like 3 seconds alone. I'll show off one cycle of this without any lag reduction. Wait, I want to aim over here. Alright, and then with lag reduction... Oh wait, I messed up a little bit. We'll see next phase what lag reduction looks like. Yeah, I can throw an orange here and save a bunch of time from looking directly at it. Almost there. I'm about halfway done with this phase. It's pretty uninteresting, but it's a nice little breather towards the end of the run.
A great chance then for me to remind people that Point of Pride is here to help trans youth and adults access necessary life-saving health and wellness services. Through their work, they have awarded over $4 million across their financial aid programs and have provided support in 127 countries. For more information, you can visit pointofpride.org, and keep in mind that all your donations are helping this fantastic cause.
Okay, last cycle of this.
It is pretty wild to me that they give you 4 whole cycles of just having to go tickle K. Rool's toes.
Yeah, it's a little outrageous. Again, this fight is like 13 seconds long. Or not 13 seconds, 13 minutes long, and like 4 to 5 minutes of it is just this phase.
It also occurs to me that Rare really likes sequences where you have to be very small to go fight a multi-stage boss.
I guess so, yeah. Okay, and one more hit after this. And thankfully, these toes, again, are a set pattern, not random. If they were, that would make this fight a lot worse, honestly, because it would be a lot harder to lag reduce, and it would make it take even longer. Alright, and final phase of the run is Chunky. Approaching time in about a minute and a half.
Oh boy, that means we have about 13 and a half minutes, maybe 14 and a half minutes, that's how math works, to get the boss incentive met, or the upgrade to all bosses incentive for Deltarune. We can also work towards that other goal I mentioned. Now that we've blown way past $6,666, we can instead try to reach 200 total donations for Archiethon. We only need 14 more, and I think we can manage that before the end of Deltarune.
Okay, here we want to become Hunky Chunky one last time and give him a good old whack in the face. We want to see up in between him running at us just to do some alarm. And just a fun little story here while we're going through this. One of the top level runners of this game, when they were like relatively new to playing the game, they were on world record pace in 101% for this category, and they accidentally did a backflip right here instead of a punch, which loses like 30 seconds, and it's literally just don't press A. That's all you have to do. Oh, that's
brutal.
So yeah, they ended up missing world record in like a nearly 6 hours at the time category due to that one mistake. And thankfully they didn't quit the game or anything, you know, they stuck around, but it's become a very famous like meme in the community to not backflip on that phase. Okay, and just one more hit until time. Okay. Alright, and that's time.
GG, let's hear it, everyone, for Amber Loves Archie in the chat.
Ooh, man. I'm really glad that went better after the start. That was kind of rough at the start. That's so it goes. That trick I was doing, it's a, like, 4.5 minute long auto-scroller, basically, and if you miss a cue on it, you're losing 2 minutes, plus the time it takes to reboot your console. So I just kind of decided to bail and do the practice run, but still ended up with a great run after that. So thanks everyone for watching, thanks for all the donors and all that, especially that very generous donation from Anonymous.
Oh my gosh, absolutely incredible. Everyone for contributing to Point of Pride, we cannot thank you enough. Would you care to make any shout-outs?
Definitely everyone who's, you know, hangs out with me and all that has kind of encouraged me to grind this game. This is my first time running a game on, like, a proper console and not PC. Amazing cutscene in the background, by the way. So it's been really a different experience, a lot of ups and downs with it. It's been, you know, a lot of fun learning just a different game. And I'll say as well, the community for this game is awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, well, again, a lot of people have been playing this since like 2005. They're still finding stuff to this day. And this game also, I had no idea until I started speedrunning this game. This game has a huge, huge, huge randomizer scene. So if you played this game before and just kind of like want to re-experience it and try it out again, I would highly recommend doing that. They're very approachable and a ton of fun.
I think that once or twice I might have heard the website to go to for that randomizer. But I'm having trouble calling it to mind for some reason.
It is DK64 randomizer.
Ah, DK64randomizer.com. I see.
So yeah, there's a lot more of this cutscene going on, but we did meet that incentive, so I'm going to go ahead and switch carts here real fast. I need to do something on vanilla. So I'm going to switch back to my main cart. But yeah, the people in that community have been very helpful to me starting out. It's a very, very, very chill group of people. They understand the absurdity of this game and they just like roll with it. Alright, so first thing, I guess we need to do like an intro and countdown to the glitch exhibition. I'm all ready to go for it. Are you?
I am so ready. Thank you, folks, for helping us meet this on your own time, Amber.
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and just count it in. We'll get started in 3, 2, 1, go. So first thing I am going to do is I am going to unlock, where is it? Oh, it's in the other menu. Okay, so this is Crusha, a character I want to unlock for multiplayer. Not super important. I'm going to select Tiny here, and I'm going to select Crusha. He's kind of a cool, big, beefy guy. He can do funny-looking long jumps and stuff. Not a guy you see in like vanilla gameplay at all or anything, but he exists in multiplayer for some reason. I have no idea why he exists in the game. Well, I'm gonna run around and grab a bit of ammo. I need about 50 for what I want to do. Okay, that should be good. I can go to the top level and get the rest of my ammo. Alright, and I'm gonna click this homing ammo, and I really just hate this wall, so I'm gonna shoot a bunch of shots into it.
Yeah, take that wall.
Yeah, so we shot about 55 shots into it. Very deserved. And any second now... maybe I have to go over here or something. let's try going over here. Oh! Oh! So if you listen closely, you can hear a sound of 55 explosions going off. And the game just barely survives that happening. It just barely doesn't crash. But, it does corrupt a bit of memory, so I am now T-posing. It doesn't properly play animations, so... you can instantly cancel punches and fun stuff like that. And you can come over here, drop into the water, and it doesn't really adjust your swimming angle properly either. So you can just continue T-posing like this. Very silly.
That's how I swim.
Yep. And then, funny stuff might happen if I ground pound twice. Pretty likely the game just crashes, though. Oh, yep. That's a crash. Alright.
Beautiful.
So I'm gonna switch cards real fast. Back to practice ROM. And now I hinted at it earlier, but I wanted to show off a couple of things that are used in 101% that don't make the cut here. I'm going to show a little bit of what the early game of that category looks like. It's not as flashy as what I just showed, but me personally, with speedrunning, I am like a huge routing nerd, so things like this are just really cool to me. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here, and I'm going to go ahead and boot up a file that is... Basically what you do in 101% right off the bat is you would go into Aztec early, and normally NLE forbids you from entering levels early. I mean, it's in the name. So, you know, B-Locker requires I have 5 golden bananas. This was found probably like 2002 or something. At the right angle, you can just kind of jump backwards in here and do that, and slap your way through the wall. So that gets you into Aztec early. You can do that for just about any level in the game to get there early. So now that I'm in Aztec early, I'm going to save a bit of time, and I'm going to warp straight to the boss to Dogadon. There are a few Dogadon fans in the chat, so here you go. So I'm going to warp back to Dogadon again, just to skip this cutscene. And so you saw the Dogadon quick kill earlier, and you might have been wondering why I didn't do it on the first variation of this boss. If I do it on the first time you fight this guy, the game... Oh, I missed it. That's fine, I can try it again. Go ahead and fly. It's a little bit tricky. It's much like... You would think it's harder than it is, but it's honestly a very easy trick. You just gotta kind of waddle forward, put down the barrel, and that'll happen. So this time, the game doesn't think I should be chunky, but it does think I should be large. So it just kind of goes, oh, I don't know, and makes DK very large. And, you get a nice view when you do this. And, yeah, you're just huge. So now when you pick up this key, normally under normal circumstances, this would be key 2. If you fought the boss in Aztec normally, it's key 2. But you'll notice here, this boss door isn't going away, which is kind of curious. So let's say I go and turn this key in. So let me go back to K-Lumsy and turn this key in. I'm going to have to watch a little intro cutscene first. I tried to find a way to skip this, but I couldn't. So I'll have to play this out real quick.
That's a great opportunity then to say, since we're midway through this incentive, we can use this time to make sure that we can unlock our last other incentive, the upgrade to all bosses for Deltarune. Again, we just need $50, but we only have until 13 minutes into Deltarune to make that happen. As always, !donate in the chat is the easiest way to get your donation straight to Point of Pride and help us get that new incentive.
And I'll show this off real quick. This isn't a glitch or anything, this is just a feature of the practice ROM, but it is very funny. It replaces a lot of dialogue boxes in the game with copy pastas. So right here, hey 2DOS, why don't you play DK64 anymore? I think it's pretty effing rude how you're acting right now. Most people only follow for your DK64 and you're losing followers tonight acting like a child. Very true. So beyond that, you'll see now, I turned into key, and it's key 5 somehow from the Aztec boss that I just fought. It's supposed to be key 2, but instead it's key 5 whenever you do the quick kill, because it thinks you have killed the version in Fungi. And so, with that, key 5 is like the most important key in the game, because key 5 unlocks Creepy Castle. So I can go out here, and under normal circumstances, there is no way to get into Creepy Castle early. You can only get there by having key 5. And so now I can come over here and get in there just fine. So, the reason why this is such a huge deal for 101% is now, if I warp to the boss of Creepy Castle, which is King Cutout again, we do that again to skip this cutscene. Okay, so when I enter this fight, remind you, I enter this fight as Donkey Kong, and now I'm Lanky, which is interesting. So if I throw Lanky into outer space, Rip Bozo, I'll now be Tiny, so it's the next Kong in line. So if I were to exit the boss at this point, I am Tiny here, which is very interesting because I only have Donkey Kong unlocked at this point. So if I take Tiny and I put her in a tag barrel, I will permanently unlock this Kong. This is known as Cutout Kongs because it's how you can get all the Kongs in a game from King Cutout. This is how 101% runs begin. They immediately go to Creepy Castle and they go into this boss over and over again, and they dump through Kongs until they unlock them all. Let me just skew through here real fast just to save some time. So now I can go in here as Tiny. And now, again, I'll be Lanky here, and I can exit this boss as Lanky, and tag him, and now I permanently have him. So it's a very quick way to streamline getting all the Kongs. It's a very, very cool thing, and it's like an amazing coincidence this happens to work out like this. Not super flashy, but again, as a huge Redding nerd, like, I think it's super cool.
Immensely interesting.
Yeah. And a glitch that is flashy, however, this is going to take a little bit of setup. I'm going to go to the museum in Castle as Chunky. This is a golden banana you would never in a billion million years ever consider an NLE. It is monumentally slow. You have to first of all enter this room, which requires pressing a switch and watching a cutscene, and then you have to walk all the way over here, and then you have to lift up a boulder, bring it over to a switch and press it down, collecting a golden banana. You probably fell asleep in the middle of me talking about it. Like, we would never ever grab that. But, it does have a boulder that I want. So I'm gonna unlock the boulder over here. I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up and bring it with me. I'm gonna put a save state here just in case I get owned by an enemy. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and activate Skew just so I can move out of bounds easier. I have to do a little bit of out of bounds movement here. You've watched enough of this game to where you kind of know, like, walls are a suggestion, so I'm just going to streamline this process a bit. I'm going to go over here towards a minigame for Tiny. That hole is really small, you need to be tiny to get in there. So I'm going to carry a barrel into this minigame, or not a barrel, a boulder into this minigame that only Tiny is supposed to be in, and it really just is spectacular. I'm going to let it mostly speak for itself. So, yeah, the barrel, or the boulder is here, and is kind of just, like, consuming Chunky Kong. And the really, really funny thing about this, besides, you know, Chunky driving around and T-posing, is that if you launch yourself into this, you use a box to launch yourself into the boulder, you just go absolutely flying. You can actually get so much speed that you clip through the ceiling. So, yeah, don't know why this happens, but boy is it amazing. Alright, and from here I'm going to move on to Galleon. I'm going to go to a file that is a lot further into the game. This will work. Okay, so I'm going to go into the main entrance of Galleon. Okay, and this is a really simple glitch you could do at home, but it is very funny. So I'm going to walk through Galleon. Right now the water level is at its highest point, and I'm going to never load in that water. And so if I go over here to Warp 2, and I backflip onto it, and I buffer going through it on the first possible frame, it puts me underneath the warp pad for some reason, which is very strange. The reason for that is it's not sure what the water level is. That platform that the warp is on moves depending on the water level. So since it doesn't know, it just assumes it's on the low level, and then it immediately goes, wait, no, it's on the high level. So it tries to put you at the lower level. And the consequence of that is this, for whatever reason, is no clip. This is 100% pure no clip. It's not just like the swim through vertical walls. It is 100% no clip. So that's used in 101% quite a bit to speed up quite a few sections. A lot of the route ends up being setting up that glitch and picking up a couple of things and then doing some other stuff and then coming back and doing that over and over again. I'm going to use it to come over here and enter DK's Seal Race minigame. It's supposed to be DK only, and so when I enter this as another Kong, the game improperly sets the movement speed of the boat, and that allows for some very silly stuff. Okay, this might take me a few tries. It's just inherently kind of an inconsistent trick. Never mind. So there is a golden banana. There is a golden banana just chilling in that ship. It's supposed to be where the golden banana is stored for you to pick up once you finish this race, but it's just sitting there. You can just collect it as other Kongs. And a fun fact about that golden banana is you can actually farm that infinitely. You can keep getting that golden banana over and over again. It's banned in speedruns for like pretty obvious reasons. But, yeah, that's a way of getting more than 200 golden bananas.
Is there a category that does allow you to do that, where the optimal route is you just do that endless number of times?
I believe so, yeah. It's sort of like Ocarina of Time and like no source requirement. I think something like that exists. But fun fact as well, one of the golden bananas I grabbed in Fungi actually has that same bug going on, and you can farm that one infinitely. That's also, of course, banned in speedruns. So I'm going to swim through vertical walls here to go to this section that's tiny. Doesn't really matter who I enter this section as. But this will be, you know, kind of a section where there's just a bonus barrel, not a whole lot going on. I'm going to swim out of bounds and show some fun stuff here. Okay, that is very interesting. So I'm going to swim out of bounds here. I'm going to instantly, like, be out of bounds. You can see there's, like, a phantom tree or something that really doesn't want to be perceived. If you do a little bit of finagling, you can get it to load in properly. There we go. So, yeah, there's just a tree here. There's some vines. I'm not exactly sure why these are here. The tree is fully tangible, though, for the record. You can grab it and interact with it. So you might be wondering, you know, like, I mean, what else? This is a cool area. Like, what else is waiting for you out of bounds? So let's walk over here. Give me just 1 second, actually. I need to load Chunky back in, because he has vanished on us. Had a bit of an out-of-body experience. And that's time. Thanks for watching DK64.
Let's hear it again one more time for Amber Loves Archie, everyone!
So yeah, that just, walking over there just crashes the game. I think it tries to load in some, like, invalid graphic or something, and it crashes the game on the spot, and yeah. Very silly game. Highly recommend playing it. If you can, definitely play it on original hardware if you can. It feels a lot worse without lag and stuff. It sounds super strange to say that, but this game is really developed around that. So that's all I got, though. Y'all enjoy the final run of the night. Thank you so much for donating, and it's been a joy to be able to show this off. I think this is probably the run I've been most excited to show off, like, ever, including GDQ and stuff. So, thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.